Hello and welcome to Anchorage Bucs baseball alongside my partner Will Hopkins. Vic Maslia here at Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska, facing the Matsu Miners for a big matchup. The Bucs and the Miners are duking it out for the top seed in the ABL. Currently, the Bucs are up 2.5 games on the Miners, and they travel here for the first time in July to face the Miners. The Bucs have been here twice beforehand. Both games are in July, and Will, they did a really good job of scoring runs. 19 combined runs scored in the first two and only two games so far here in Matsu. 10-9 victory, a 9-1 victory. So we saw the bats do really well, and we've seen the pitching do really well too. June 24th was that 9-1 victory, and that was a great game by Zandrose out here just pitching an absolute gem. But the last three games have been troublesome for the Bucs against the Miners. Three straight losses, two of them being shutouts, 1-0, 1-0, and 4-3. The Miners won last July 21st against these very Bucs. But the Bucs themselves, six straight wins, their longest win streak in league play. Will, how important is it to keep the offense rolling, to score early here, and to get the Miners pitcher out of this ball game as quick as possible, and to just maintain the lead through the rest of the game?
I mean, scoring early is huge. You're going against a team who's coming in with 10 straight wins, so their confidence could not be higher. And the best way to shake that confidence is with some early runs on the board. Like you mentioned, the Miners have won three straight games against these Bucs with just 3 runs total for the Bucs in those 3 games. And even in the two wins before that, that was a two-game doubleheader. 2-0 and 2-0 for the Bucs. So not a ton of runs over the last 5 against the Miners. Hopefully can change that early and kind of rattle this hot Miners team.
And speaking of hot Miners team, we touched on how their average was a little bit lower than what we would expect because they score a lot of runs, but that has since changed. Their average has gone up a little bit, still 20 points behind the Bucs, but get this, 22 runs in their last three games. And well, 10 game win streak is going to bode a lot of runs, but in their last three games, 22 runs. Two games were a doubleheader versus the Pilots, in which they put up 6 runs, then 5 runs, and they were both shutout games. So 6-0, 5-0, and then they put up, I believe, 11 runs
Yeah.
in a mercy rule against the Chinooks. So this offense is heating up for the Miners, but you got a guy, Cole Carlone, on the mound for the Bucs who's looked really sharp. And on the other side, Noah Kendrick for the Miners has looked really sharp. So we'll be interested to see what happens today. It could be very well be the team that scores first and maintains that lead for the rest of the game. They're probably going to be most likely the winners of today's ball game. But we'll get into Cole Carlone, we'll get into Noah Kendrick and the starting lineups and more. A big game, number one versus number two, Bucs at Miners when we come back. Welcome back to Palmer, Alaska. Bucks at the Chinooks. The third time the Bucks are visiting Palmer, Alaska, and they will do it two more times after today's game to make it five here and five back at Mulcahy Stadium. Also, three games left with the Chinooks. But here, the pitching matchup: Cole Carlone versus Noah Kendrick. Starting with Carlone, we will see him in the bottom half of the first inning taking on the lineup for the Miners. But first, for Carlone, he comes into this game and he's looked really, really sharp for the Bucks. Looking at his season totals, Carlone in his seventh appearance, all six previous have been starts. He is 1-1 with 26 innings pitched, 15 hits, and just seven earned runs. Good enough for a 2.42 ERA. And Carlone has that strikeout type of stuff, but also gets it done with manufacturing ground balls and fly balls as well. Five strikeouts in his last time out. His last time out was against these very Miners at Mulcahy Stadium, and that was a 4-3 loss for the Bucks in a really close game. That was the last loss that the Bucks had against the Miners, but two games before that, back-to-back shutouts, 1-0 losses for this Bucks team, and then this 4-3 loss did have some run support for Carlone, but just not enough. Carlone went four innings, gave up four hits, one earned run, no walks, and had five strikeouts. And Will, I think me and you were both wondering why he came out of the game so early. Just had 53 pitches, but I think that the Bucks are gearing him up for postseason ball and want to make sure that he has longevity, especially here in today's game and going forward. So for Carlone, those four innings pitched in his last time out, going back through the rest of his outings, he's gone about 4 or 5 innings, not as much as we expect. We expect him to go 6 innings usually, but just with his pitch count and everything, and making sure that he gets to the postseason, they will not probably send him 6 innings here today. And he will face off against Noah Kendrick, and a guy we have not seen before, the Bucks at least, but he's pitched really well in ABL ball. Will.
Yes, this will be our first look at Noah Kendrick. And just like the rest of the Miners starters, another big guy, 6'4, 195 from Texas, plays his ball at Sam Houston State, where the righty will be a rising sophomore. And like you said, even though we haven't seen him, the rest of the league has and hasn't fared very well. 7 appearances, five of them starts, 2-2. Just like Carlone, 26 innings pitched, a 1.73 ERA, very impressive. 20 hits, 9 runs, only 5 of them earned though, 24 strikeouts and 10 walks. His last time out, that was July 19th, a 3-2 win versus the Chinooks in 7 innings, where he picked up the win because he pitched the whole game. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, just one of those 2 earned, 4 strikeouts and 2 walks. So the 4 strikeouts in 7 innings, not a super high number, but obviously plenty effective in that 7 inning complete game for Noah Kendrick. And today he'll be facing a Bucks lineup that looks as follows. Josh Hankins in the leadoff spot yet again, playing on the hot corner at third base with Andrew Lamb right behind him in the two-hole and in right field. Cole Carlone, we know he's pitching. He's also hitting, and we expect him to stay in the lineup as a designated hitter following his time on the mound. He's batting third. Ryan Callahan back to the outfield. He's batting cleanup in Tommy Eisenstadt, where Callahan played yesterday at first base, batting fifth. Brody Briggs will be catching for his Arizona State teammate and batting sixth. Peyton Knowles is batting seventh. He's at second base. Will Burns moves up a spot to eighth with the shortstop position defensively. And Riley Hunsaker back in the lineup. He's batting ninth and playing center field. And once again, Carlone on the mound. So Hankins, Lamb, Carlone, Callahan, Eisenstadt, Briggs, Knowles, Burns, and Hunsaker. As for the home team, the Matsu Miners coming in second place at 22-13, 11-4 here at Herman Brothers Field. Chase Wilcox will play first base and lead things off, with Drake Kerr batting second and playing center field. Kyle McCausland will bat third. He's in right field, and big Brandon Duran will be the designated hitter batting cleanup. Don Patrizzi is batting fifth. He's at second base. Riker Scow will play in left field, batting sixth. Ryan Cochran is at shortstop. He's batting seventh. And Blake Baltz is catching for Noah Kendrick, batting eighth, with Nick Bisaccia finishing things out at third base, batting ninth. Once again, that's Wilcox, Kerr, McCausland, Duran, Patrizzi, Scow, Cochran, Baltz, and Bisaccia for head coach Tyler LeBrun. Like we said, Miners coming in at 22-13, Bucks 24-10. That's a 2.5 game lead. The magic number is 4, as we've described in previous games. Magic number goes down. This magic number now is to clinch that number 1 seed. Bucks have clinched a top 2 seed, so home field in the first round, but getting the number 1 seed would clinch home field throughout the playoffs. That number goes down by one with a Bucs win or a Miners loss. So when you're playing against them, a chance to shave that by two. 3 games remaining against these Miners, 3 games remaining against the Chinooks. If you can win 2 of the 3 against the Miners, the games against the Chinooks wouldn't even matter in terms of clinching that number 1 seed. If you can just get 1 game against the Miners and take 2 out of 3 against the Chinooks, that would also be enough. Now, all of this math is calculated assuming that all these teams are able to get all of their games in. So we hope that that's the case. And we do have a couple days with some iffy weather going, but as for today, shouldn't be a problem here in Palmer, Alaska, with first pitch coming in just a few minutes. Game time temperature about 64 degrees here in Palmer, but some rain expected Monday and Tuesday. Should have no problems here today, though, in the rain department. PA announcer announcing the Bucs and the Miners. It seems like first pitch will be just a few minutes after 2 o'clock p.m. Alaska time, 6 o'clock for those of you listening and watching on the East Coast. Appreciate you as always. A really big game between these two. The Miners have not lost in 17 days. Yes, 17 days, a 10-game win streak with some off days that were originally scheduled and some more because of rainouts. And so their last loss coming some time ago. Their first win of this win streak was a 1-0 win against these Bucs all the way back on the 15th. Had 3 days off previous to that. And their last loss actually coming against the fourth team, excuse me, in the ABL standings, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. So hopefully the other Anchorage team can end this win streak at 10 games for the Bucs. 6 games, impressive in their own right, but unfortunately kind of being overshadowed by how successful the Miners have been of late. 4-3 for the Bucs against the Miners in league play, with those 4 wins coming in the first 4 games and the 3 losses coming in the last 3. 5-3 in total if you include the 4-3 Scout Showcase win on June 14th. For the Bucs, it was a victory yesterday in Chugiak, a 3-2 win against the Chinooks. As for the Miners, haven't played since Thursday. That was a doubleheader sweep against the Pilots with no runs allowed. 6-0 in Game 1, 5-0 in Game 2. Top 2 offenses in the league in runs scored. Bucs at 167, Miners at 166 with 1 more game played. And 2 of the top 3 teams in batting average. Like Vic said, the Miners have gotten things back up a little bit, still trailing the Bucs by 20 points in that category, though. Just the last 3 to be announced for the Miners, and then should be ready for the national anthem. We know here at Herman Brothers Field, oftentimes a first pitch, so looking forward to seeing someone in the crowd throughout the first pitch as well. Miners wearing all white with the yellow and green caps, green cursive Miners across the chest with the swoosh underneath and the numbers on the front and back outlined in yellow. As for the Bucs, the black tops with the white pants with the black pinstripes and those black and white hats. Pretty clean jersey matchup between these 2 teams, with first pitch coming pretty soon here as Noah Kendrick is getting announced as the starting pitcher for the Miners. And now we'll leave it to the PA for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we kindly ask you to please rise, if able, remove your caps, and direct your attention towards center field as we honor America and our men and women who support our freedom at home and abroad.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. The
Welcome back to Herman Brothers Field. A beautiful rendition of the national anthem played here at Herman Brothers Field. I got excited thinking that it was somebody in the park, but fortunately I think it was just a recording. Definitely of a live rendition nonetheless. As Skyler comes to the mound to throw out the first pitch to Brandon Durand, the only fielding he'll have to do today as the designated hitter. Also plays catcher for these Miners as she takes the bump to get us started. A few minutes after 2 o'clock, she fires a strike. How about that? Hopefully that's what we see from Cole Carlone in the bottom half of this first inning. As for the top half, Noah Kendrick will be facing Josh Hankins, Andrew Lamb, and Cole Carlone. And Kendrick now ready to start his warm-up tosses. Blake Baltz will be catching for him with Chase Wilcox at first base, Dom Patrizzi at second base, Ryan Cochran at shortstop, and Nick Bisaccia at third base to round out the infield. Riker Scow in left field, Drake Kerr in center field, and Kyle McCausland in right field. We've talked about it before. We've only been here for weekend games, and it's always been a good crowd since we've been here at Herman Brothers Field. And again, the case today, a rowdy crowd. The seats that we can see on our left and right pretty full. It's like Mulcahy Stadium where there are seats under us as well that obviously we cannot see. But for Kendrick, like I said, another big pitcher. All the pitchers, at least the starters for these Miners, are big guys, and a lot of them from the Midwest. Kendrick, Texas size, 6'4", 195. Rocking number 32. I believe he was supposed to be 39 at the beginning of the season, but ends up being 32 for manager Tyler LeBrun. Kendrick ready to make his sixth start, eighth appearance. First time facing the top team in the league, the Anchorage Bucs, looking to really show these Miners that the Bucs are indeed the top team despite the 10-game win streak. And now coming to bring an end to that 10-game win streak, Vic Maslia.
Thank you, Will. I hope that is the case, and I'm sure the Bucks do as well. A win here would be absolutely ginormous. A win here, and the Bucks really just have to take care of business versus the Chinooks a couple more times, and then the top of the league is yours. Josh Hankins stands in. Noah Kendrick starts out of the modified windup. He kicks his leg around. The pitch is just a bit inside, and we are underway at Palmer, Alaska. The Bucks versus the Miners. Number one versus number two. 2.5 games separate these two teams. The Miners have just been red hot, but so have the Bucks as that one misses again. 10 straight wins for the Miners, 6 straight for the Bucks, both of them in their longest win streaks in league play of this ABL season. And can't have a better matchup in baseball across not just the ABL, as that one's a called strike, but across all the summer leagues, I would like to think.
And with these two teams coming in so hot, I wish we had a full series instead of playing every other day between the Miners and the Chinooks.
This is grounded foul by Josh Hankins. Hankins has been the normal leadoff guy for the past 4 or 5 games, I would have to say, maybe even a little bit longer for this Bucks team. Andrew Lamb has been a mainstay in that 2 or 3 hole. Carlone up there at the top. Seems like Lamb and Carlone switch off a little bit between 2 and 3. Next one from Kendrick. Look out. That buzzed the tower. Hankins takes a step out. Hope his pregame meal as well as Will Burns pays off. A little hot dog from the concession stand behind here. Just about 30 minutes away from first pitch.
Yeah, Hankins had a cheeseburger. He said it was going to help him hit a double here, so I'm expecting that 3-2.
Payoff pitch to come. Kendrick brings it. Ground ball out to third. Hit it well, but Bisaccia has that. The peg to first is in time. And one down.
Unfortunately, the cheeseburger not helping him in the leadoff spot. We'll see if it pays dividends later in the game, but put some good wood on it. Easy play in the end for Bisaccia, though.
That'll bring up Andrew Lamb. After him, Carlone and Callahan. A righty on the hill, so a heavy lefty lineup for this Bucks team. Will Burns and Josh Hankins, the only righties in the order. Everyone else a lefty bat as that one misses up and away.
Lamb also bats second when the Bucks played the Miners last Sunday at Mulcahy Stadium, 1 for 5 with a run scored.
1-0 pitch. That's in the dirt. 2 more games after this one versus the Miners, then 3 more against the Chinooks, and that is the end of your ABL regular season. The Bucs looking to be the top team. They've got to do some work. 2-0 swung on and missed by Lamb.
Yep, not going to be easy. And like I said, I wish it was a full series between the Bucs and the Miners with them both playing so well. But no matter how the seeding ends, a lot of me is thinking that there's going to be a series between these two in the playoffs.
2-1. Just misses. I think Bolts like the spot.
Lamb coming into play 4th in the ABL in on-base percentage, 406. 3 Bucs in the top 5. Carlone 2, Lamb 4, Callahan 5.
3-1, fouls it out of play. Well, his 19 walks, which is just under Peyton Knowles' 20, really helps that on-base percentage department. 406, like you were saying.
Those 19 walks tied for second in the whole league. Peyton Knowles leads the league, and Lamb's tied with Cole Dawson for second.
Another full count pitch this time to Lamb. Here it is, and it misses up and away, and now he's tied with Peyton Knowles for the lead.
Yep.
And it's not surprising that the 2 top
Now
guys in
batting,
that
number
walks list
23,
are
Cole
Bucs players. I'm sure the
Carlone.
top 10 has got to be a lot of Bucs as well.
3 Bucs in the top 4. And
Zane
then
Kelly's still up there.
Yeah, and then Will Burns tied for 8th. So 4 in the top 10. Kelly obviously not going to climb up that leaderboard anymore, leaving with a finger injury.
Sad to see him go. Hit the first home run for the Bucs. That was here versus the Miners. First pitch to Carlone. It's a called strike. That home run all the way back on June 8th. First time we played the Miners. It was a game out here, 10-9 victory.
Also, a game-winning RBI single from Zane Kelly. It was a great day for him.
Really seen the ball well. He was our first player of the game. Lamb, a good lead at first. He fake goes, and then a foul ball from Cole Carlone.
Talking about league leaders, obviously have to mention Cole Carlone leading the ABL in batting average coming in to play today at
337.
Yep.
It's quite remarkable, an average that high in summer ball. Wood League bats up here in Alaska too, where the ball just doesn't really carry. Pitcher's paradise as he just gets a piece of that one foul off the end of the bat.
Yeah, and he pitches. Not only is he hitting that well, but he pitches, and we'll see both on show today. And like we've mentioned in previous times when he's done both, only the 3rd or 4th time I'd say he's done that, has a unique opportunity at the plate to help himself on the mound.
0-2. That just misses. Maybe inside and a little bit low. Good eye by Carlone.
Bucs are doing a good job, though, fighting off pitches, staying alive, and working Kendrick's count up a little bit. Barring a double play, should be over 20 this inning.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 down. Lamb at first. See if he goes. He does not, and check swing, they'll appeal. Oh, and they say he win. I really did not think that he'd win on that one.
I did not either. Was a little bit surprised that we didn't see Carlone call time. A long pause from Noah Kendrick. I even thought I saw Carlone adjust his hands a little bit, maybe in the back of his mind, thinking of taking one off the bat and giving that hand to the home plate umpire. And I think that might have messed with him a little bit. Good job from Kendrick.
Get them while they're good. Get them while they're hot.
So a check swing strikeout for Carlone. That makes it 2 down. Lamb still aboard at first. Bucs have done a great job of getting runners on in the first inning. As of late, they've done a better job about getting runners in. Only issue with the bats has just been maintaining and adding on to a lead you set in the first inning.
That was the case when these two teams played last. 3 runs in the first inning, and then you lose 4-3 with runs in the 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th from the Miners.
Even the 2-0 doubleheader victories, those 2 runs came earlier on in the game, and the Bucs were just able to hold on, it seems. So Bucs have struggled to score past the first inning against the Miners and scoring in general against the Miners this month.
Great staff, to be fair.
Next one to Carlone, misses away. 4-man umpire crew, so that last send down to 3rd there was actually an umpire over there to make the call. Just interested to see, or to find out what he saw over there. Didn't look like Carlone went around, but he's got the best view in the house. 2-0 to Callahan, misses upstairs again. 3 balls, no strikes, and that's another 3-ball count for Noah Kendrick as Bolts just threw an eephus pitch back to him.
Yeah, he did.
That was a little weird.
Lamb could have pushed the envelope a little bit. But like I said, a good staff for these Miners. Good to get that pitch count up to 20 now.
3-0. We'll see if Callahan has the green light. He does not, and that one is a strike right down the middle.
And talking about that good staff, a 2.48 ERA for the Miners, the best in the league by 1/100th of a point, with the Bucs having a 2.49.
Another 3-ball count, 3 straight, as this is poked into left field and down for a base hit. Callahan goes the opposite way, and he's been swinging a hot stick as of late.
Yep, he sure has. Ryan Callahan had a hit yesterday against the Chinooks, and now a hit today against the Miners in his first trip to the plate in Weller.
Now batting number 29, Tommy Eisenstadt.
Callahan's not going to blow you away with tremendous power, but 2 games ago had that triple, and he really split the gap well. That was a screaming line drive. We talk about Lamb right in front of him at second base, hits those balls super high up in the air, and they travel all the way to the gap, and he's able to get a double. But that one by Callahan just rocketed off his bat, as that's a called strike to Eisenstadt.
And we'd love to see Eisenstadt maybe pick up a gapper, another guy who gets on base a ton, not usually with extra base hits, though, just 3 doubles on the year.
Eisenstadt more of a pull hitter than Callahan is. Callahan seemingly goes every which way, left field, center field, or right. Eisenstadt pops this one up, shallow center field, actually not even going to get to the outfield, and it's going to be Ryan Cochran to wrap that in leather. The shortstop takes that for out number 3. The Bucs strand 2 runners on the base pass as we head to the bottom half of the first. Nothing for the Bucs and the Miners. Coming up when we come back. Cole Carlone on the hill. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Miners due up here in the bottom half of the first inning. Chase Wilcox, Drake Kerr, and Kyle McCausland due up.
And the only man that Chase Wilcox trails in the batting average department in the whole league is the guy he's facing on the mound.
It's so funny to say that. Just to hear those words come out of your mouth is just so weird. A pitcher on the mound that you're facing has a better batting average than you do, and you're already hitting, what, over 320?
Yep, 326.
First pitch he sees, misses downstairs, gets away from Briggs. Eisenstadt at first, Knowles at second, Burns at short, Hankins at third base, Callahan at left, Hunsaker in center, Andrew Lamb out there in right field. A great defensive rotation in the battery. Brody Briggs, Cole Carlone, an Arizona State battery. The last one was a ball outside. Wilcox able to hold his swing. Drake Kerr was the leadoff batter for the most part of this season, I would say. Wilcox has just been heating up. That one misses again upstairs, and rare miss of command from Cole Carlone on these first 3 pitches.
Yeah, would love to see him fire a strike. Would assume that the leadoff man, Wilcox, would probably be taking all the way.
3-0. That misses upstairs. A 4-pitch walk to start things for Cole Carlone. Certainly not out of the woods yet. Drake Kerr, 2-hole batter, like I said. Used to bat leadoff.
Now stepping up
for
to the
most
plate,
part of
center
this
fielder
season
number
for the
9,
Miners, and he's a
Drake
guy that can really
Kerr.
manufacture getting himself on base any way possible.
And then moving on those bases, leads the league with 23 stolen bases. But if I'm not mistaken, last time these two teams played, Brody Briggs gunned him down at second.
Hankins already on the edge of the grass. Surprised he's not in a couple more steps, expecting a sac bunt.
Or even a bunt for a hit.
Kerr gonna square a little bit late. That one is upstairs, gets away from Brody Briggs. See how that one scored. It probably will go down as a wild pitch, but I think it just confused Briggs, who was setting up maybe downstairs.
And also, when you see that batter bunt, if you're Brody Briggs, obviously you're trying to catch the pitch, but you also kind of start thinking about getting to the ball defensively, and so it makes those high pitches super difficult to defend. And now you're in a spot where a Kerr bunt could get Wilcox just 90 feet away.
So Burns switches with Knowles, and he'll hold on to Wilcox. Big hole on that left side.
It is scored a wild pitch.
1-0. Takes that one, and it's a ball inside. Carlone has yet to find the strike zone against these Miners. 6 straight balls.
Looks a little bit upset with himself out there on the mound.
Carlone struggled against the Oilers out in the peninsula, gave up 4 runs. 4 or 5. 2-0 misses upstairs, and he just has no command for the first 7 pitches now.
Yeah, it's been mostly fastballs, and that fastball is usually dynamite from Carlone. If he throws another ball here, I'd expect Monty to come out and have a chat. First, though, Brody Briggs is going to come talk to Carlone before he can even get to a possibly 8th ball.
It's like Briggs and the coaching staff just not on the same page there as whether or not to go talk to Carlone. I don't know if Briggs was waiting if Monty would want to come out and have a conversation, or if he should do it himself. Monty's staying still over there, so he's going to let Carlone try to figure it out. 3 balls, no strikes. Honestly, if I'm Carlone, I'm just throwing another ball here, letting Kerr take that base, set up the force out. Don't want to get back in his count with Kerr, lays down another bunt, potentially a first and third, nobody out if he lays down a beauty.
At the same time, you don't want to fire that 8th straight ball. I would think Kerr's leaving that bat on his shoulders, even if he is trying to bunt. So I would just try and throw that fastball down the middle just to register a strike. I think in this at-bat, a 5-pitch walk versus a 4-pitch walk definitely feels a lot better for Carlone.
Lefty comes set at the chest. Now the 3-0, and that misses again. So another 4-pitch walk, 8 straight pitches, all balls for Cole Carlone. The Bucs do have first
Now
and
batting,
second with a force
right
out.
fielder number 30,
That brings up
Kyle McCausland.
And for Carlone, just 9 walks in 26 innings coming in, and now 2 here before registering his first out.
Something we don't see from him. He has great command of the strike zone. Corners are in. That's Eisenstadt and Hankins. We'll see if McCausland tries to lay down one, and he does square, and that is the first strike for Cole Carlone. I bet that feels really good.
It definitely does, and McCausland as well as Wilcox and Kerr in the lineup against Carlone back on the 21st. The top 5 is the exact same, and 8 of the 9 guys in the lineup that day are also in the lineup today.
See how he handles McCausland, who squares again and gets it down right in front of Carlone, and it takes a tricky hop. He's going to be safe. Carlone came sprinting in to try to get that baseball, and it took a weird bounce, had a lot of sideward spin on it. And I think Carlone knew once he darted in to make that play, he probably should have waited on it just a tad more.
Stepping up to the plate, your designated hitter, number 35,
nasty spin
Brendan
off the grass, the
Duran.
natural grass throughout the field here at Herman Brothers Field, and also grass between home and first and home and third, and off the grass out in front of home plate over there. Just nasty bounce over Carlone's hand.
So Carlone in a world of trouble. Bases loaded, nobody out for Brandon Duran. The first pitch he sees is a called strike. That is going to be an error by Cole Carlone.
Seems harsh.
Does seem harsh. Did not have any piece of leather on it. But it was right back to him, and he just waits on a little bit longer. He's probably got to play, but in the end, it's a really tough one to make in general. 0-1. This is upstairs. Nowhere to put Duran, so Carlone can find that command. He really needs to find it right now. One ball, one strike. The pitch is outside. Duran, the designated hitter in today's game.
10 balls and 3 strikes so far for Carlone. That's just not something that you'd expect to say with him on the mound.
Working out of the windup now with the bases juiced. 2-1. Swung on and missed. A slow swing from Durant on a big fastball.
Yep, and I mean, for Carlone, when you throw that fastball, a lot of players are going to have trouble with it. That one may be a little bit above the zone, but close enough to warrant a swing.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Carlone still looking for that first out. And that one's upstairs. Another full count for these Miners. Or, excuse me, the first full count for these Miners. Carlone just firing the first couple of strikes to McCausland and now Durant. Nowhere to put the designated hitter. 3-2. This is upstairs, and Miners going to walk in a run.
Yeah, thought that Carlone had kind of turned a corner, and then 2 more balls. Would not at all be surprised to see Monty come
Now
out.
batting your second
and he
baseman,
comes off
number
the
1,
seat to have
Dom
a chat with Cole
Patrici.
Carlone. Not at all the way you expect this game to start with Carlone, but it's just the 1 run, not the end of the world. But I think the way the rest of this inning goes is going to go a long way in dictating the way the rest of this game goes.
So Coach Dunham, the bullpen coach and first base coach for the Bucs, is already headed down there, and looks like they're going to start to get a pitcher warm. And right now, the only one standing up is Chad Gurney, and wouldn't be too surprised considering he has started 3 games for the Bucs and knows how to go long and can be a big, I guess, long-term reliever for this Bucs team if Carlone can't get through the first couple of frames. So Monty's done with his talk to Cole Carlone. Brody Briggs will return behind home plate, still looking for that first out. A ground ball would be huge, but Dom Patrizi at the plate is not the ideal double play candidate for the Bucs. No one is up in the bullpen. Dunham has gone to sit down with them and maybe get someone ready soon, but the Bucs have, like we mentioned, 5 more games left and no days off really.
And one doubleheader as well.
Exactly. 5 games in 4 days. This one's just a bit outside for Carlone.
And I think that missed, but even if it did hit, you're not going to have the benefit of the doubt when you can't locate, and if you miss your spots, or even if you hit your spot, if you haven't been locating prior to that.
Corners are in middle infield back. This is popped up foul ground. Eisenstadt will give it a chase, but it's going to head out of play. Drake Kerr at third base. Corners have got to be careful. A ground ball will most likely send Kerr home, I would assume, with his speed. Maybe something hard on the ground, he'll wait for it to get through. But a chopper, you can guarantee him darting home. A 1-0 lead for the Miners. A tricky bottom of the first inning for Cole Carlone, trying to navigate around it. Check swing, they'll appeal, and they say he went. Huge strike for Cole Carlone.
So different to have a 1-2 versus 2-1. Even though 2-1's not an awful count, when you don't have confidence that you can fire strikes, it doesn't feel very good. Now Carlone just a strike away from putting Patrizi away.
With his command struggles, would love to just see him attack Patrizi right here and not waste a pitch. 1-2, lefty ready. The pitch. Cold strike 3 on the outer half. A great pitch for Cole Carlone, and he gets his first out.
Yep, fastball on the outside corner, absolutely painted.
Now batting
Bob Ross out there.
left fielder, number 8,
Have Bob Ross
Riker
out here to paint
Scow.
these trees out in Alaska. Did you know Bob Ross first started painting up here in
I did
Alaska?
not.
I think I was on a tour, the same one they did with Andrew Lamb's family. Or I didn't do it with Andrew Lamb's family, but we went on the same one a couple days apart. That would be weird. But I think Bob Ross got his inspiration with the Alaska trees.
Can't blame him.
Back to baseball, Riker Scow is up with 1 down. Still bases loaded. Hankins, Eisenstadt, the corners are in. Can expect them to go home if Kerr darts home.
Middle infield hoping to turn 2.
In need of a ground ball. We'll see if Carlone can get one. That one is left upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes.
And his misses have been, in all honesty, a little bit all over the place, but I would say the fastball too high has been the most common.
Needs to get back in this count. Down 2-0, the pitch to Scow. Gets a called strike on the inner half. Coach Sanagorski, although he's off the screen for pretty much all the games, is a big part of why the Bucs are positioned the way they are. He is standing at the top step and making sure outfielders and infielders are positioned perfectly. 2-1. Swung on and missed.
Carlone can Sorry.
No, I was going to say Carlone looking great. What were you saying?
If he can throw another fastball right there and get a swing and a mouse, miss from Riker Scott's not going to matter where these Bucks are positioned defensively.
Exactly. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. Carlone delivers just a bit downstairs, and another full count, but there's nowhere to put Riker Scout.
No hit so far for the Miners. Make them change that if they want to get another run.
Love how you put that. Hopefully, Lux can get a ground ball here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch from Carlone. This is way upstairs, and they walk in another run.
Yep, just unfortunate for Carlone. Every time it looks like he's started to figure it out, a strike or two is followed by a ball or two. And he just can't consistently find the zone, and it's just a little bit
Now stepping up to
befuddling
the plate,
because of how he's
your
pitched all year.
shortstop, number
Yeah, it
19,
looks like it is Chad Gurney
Ryan
out there.
Cochran.
Definitely could be the Bucks' go-to long reliever, considering that he's had 3 starts in ABL play. We've seen him come out of the bullpen, I believe, 2 or 3 times since his last start. He's pitched 2 or 3 innings here and there.
He pitched on Friday.
Yeah, a little bit surprised. It hasn't been long since we've seen him. Ryan Cochran takes that one upstairs.
3 1/3 innings pitched. 39 pitches, so definitely not a guy they would have loved to have to turn to so soon.
1-0. Just upstairs again. That is a common miss for Cole Carlone today. Long bottom half of the first inning. 2-0 now. That misses again. 3 balls, no strikes for Carlone, and I'm sure just as frustrating it is up here, Carlone's got to feel all alone out there on the bump. That's the loneliest place out there. Needs to fire a strike. 3-0. Oh, missed upstairs, and just like you were saying, your misses, they don't look like that close if you've been missing all game. So that one very close, but Carlone not going to get the benefit of the doubt and walks in his 3rd runner for this inning.
Yep, just super unfortunate that all of these runs.
Now batting number 5, your catcher, Blake
either
Baltz.
walks or that bunt that was scored an error on Carlone himself. Wouldn't be surprised if we see that change to a hit, but just not making these Miners put balls in play. And we know that their offense is not the strongest in that category of putting balls in play.
And Monty's going to make his slow walk out there, and this really could be it, because like I said, Gurney has that starting experience. He could be someone they go to for 5-6 innings and give it up to the bullpen. So Monty claps his hands. Gurney's coming out of the pen. Just an unfortunate day for Cole Carlone. He hands the ball off to Monty and cannot get the job done. Just gets the 1 out. The bases are still full of Miners. Blake Baltz, the catcher, due up at the plate. We'll take a little bit of a break, let Chad Gurney get warm, and we'll be right back to you. 3-0 lead for the Miners here in the bottom half of the first inning. Welcome back to Palmer, Alaska. Like we said, Chad Gurney on the hill for the Bucs. This is his ninth appearance. 3 of them have been starts, 4 and 1, 27 and 2/3 inning pitch, 14 hits, 8 earned runs, good for a 2.60 ERA. Seen him a lot out of the bullpen as of late.
It was fantastic on Friday against the Pilots. 3 1/3, 5 strikeouts. The rest of it zeros, no hits, no runs, no walks. Pitched fantastically, but did throw 39 pitches, so just a little bit surprised and not sure how long the Bucs will be able to get him for today.
Need him to get through this first at least, as this is hit on the ground. Will Burns going to flip to second for 1. Peyton Knowles on the first, double play. A huge ground ball and a huge pitch by Chad Gurney. The Bucs do surrender 3 runs, but I'll tell you, Will, leaving 3 stranded in that inning has got
Alaska
to feel really
Railroad
good.
and
So Chad
Operation
Gurney, just
Lifesaver
one pitch
Alaska
takes care
is
of the
the
Miners here
Alaska
in the bottom
Railroad.
half of the
Partner with
first. We head to the
Operation
top of the
Lifesaver
second.
would like to
Got to score
remind
some
our
runs.
friend
Welcome back. Brody Briggs leads things off for the Bucs in a huge 6-4-3 double play.
for the Bucs, number 5.
Brought to you by
Brody
Chad
Briggs.
Gurney's first and only pitch in that first inning, and just a great job, able to get the Bucs out of a huge jam. And now Bucs bats have to go to work, starting with Brody Briggs. He takes a called strike from Noah Kendrick, who has sat a long time.
Yeah, he certainly has got some run support without his team even putting a hit on the board. As Briggs rolls that one foul, talk to the Miners broadcasters between innings. They're going to keep that play ruled as an error on Carlone. So with that, it'll be 2 unearned runs, 1 earned run for Carlone in just a third of an inning.
That's in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and that means no base hits in that bottom half of the first inning for the Miners. Just all walks in that error.
And such an interesting dynamic is Carlone stays in this game to hit, so he'll have a chance to kind of make up for things.
1-0's in the dirt.
And I think it's good because it doesn't allow his mind to wander and get too down on himself. He's got to keep watching this game closely, watch Kendrick closely, figure out how he's going to try to manage things when he comes up the next time.
2-2. That one misses. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Another full count pitch for these Bucs hitters. And going back to Gurney, not a big strikeout pitch at all, but man, does he manufacture outs any way possible. And just went and got some extra reps in the bullpen out with Dylan Maltby. Should be ready to go for the second. That one misses, and ball 4 to Brody Briggs. After getting down 0-2, fights all the way back.
Not only that, but after giving up 3 runs, I think it's so big that the Bucs get the leadoff man on, try to have an immediate response. You don't need 3 runs here, but getting 1 or 2 would definitely go a long way.
So Peyton Knowles grabs the bat. After him, Will Burns, then Riley Hunsaker, if we can get that far. Briggs a healthy lead, stays put, and that one's fouled back.
And for Kendrick, prior to that pitch, 15 balls, 15 strikes. So his command hasn't been perfect either. And, with Peyton Knowles up, got to be pretty sharp in finding that zone.
Kendrick gets what he wants now working out of the stretch. The 0-1 misses downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. And last inning shows you why the Miners might have a lower average than you might think, but still score a lot of runs. Those 3 runs, like I said, no base hits. 1-1 is fouled back and just punishing the Bucs, making them shoot themselves in their own foot, really.
100%. The Miners are not a team that's really going to give you outs at the plate. And we didn't see the base running, really, but that's also a big feature of their offense.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch misses upstairs. Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Knowles is in the dirt. Good eye. Another 3-ball, 2-strike count. I mean, we've seen a ton from Noah Kendrick.
Yep. Saw some from Carlone, too.
And that was Hankins, Lamb, and Carlone. I believe the first 3 batters that he faced had a 3-ball, 2-strike count. So some long at-bats for Noah Kendrick. There goes Briggs. The pitch is grounded to second base, and getting that is Patrizi. He'll just have one play, though, as Briggs was running on the play. And it's 1 down, but moved the runner over.
Almost took Patrizi out of the play. He was going towards second base, whether that was to cover or to back up for Ryan Cochran. Unsure. And then had to switch back to go get the ball. Slipped a little bit, but was still able to make the play. And if Briggs isn't running with the pitch, don't think there's time to turn 2, but they may have gone and got the lead runner.
So Will Burns bats. Big base hits in yesterday's game against the Chinooks as he lifts this over first base. Chase Wilcox is there and hauls that one in for out number 2. Just one pitch takes care of Burns.
Yeah, unfortunate that it was on that first pitch, given that we've seen some struggles with command for Noah Kendrick. And if you're Burns and you think that it's a pitch to hit, go right ahead. Don't blame him for swinging. Unfortunately, just did not get the best wood on it.
So Riley Huntsaker now, 9-hole batter, is playing in center field. Maybe the first time we've seen him play in center field since the Bucs quickly took him out after the first couple innings. It's been Max Ross usually out there. Huntsaker has been playing right or left field. But Max Ross not in the lineup in today's game. Foul tips and misses that one.
Yeah, I think just maybe one time we've seen him actually make it through 9 innings and then just waiting for Ross to come back with that thumb injury. But since Ross has been back, it's been Huntsaker and left or right, like you said.
A lot of ground to cover in center field, even here. And Matsu, as that one is swung through. No balls, 2 strikes.
A little bit smaller in center, 390 to dead center here, whereas it's 400 at Mulcahy, but still obviously a lot more ground than left or right.
0-2 pitch. Misses just a bit outside. And you were saying how much of an advantage it is for right-handed batters over there. 3 feet to work with, right?
Yeah, 342 to left field and 345 to right field. Not too big of a difference. 322 down both lines. But in fairness, I did say that. Obviously, just joking around.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. Briggs in scoring position. The pitch is swung on and missed. Kendrick comes back, works around the leadoff walk to Brody Briggs, sits down the next 3. We head to the bottom half of the second inning. Still a 3-0 lead for the Miners. Bottom half of this second inning, Bisaccia due up first. He's the 9-hole batter. Then back to the top of the order and Chase Wilcox. Gurney still on the mound, just threw one pitch last inning. Get the ground ball double play. Will Burns to Peyton Knowles on to first base. First pitch in the second inning misses inside.
Yeah, only threw one, but what a big pitch that was. Really was a threat of the Miners putting up a much bigger number than just 3.
One is in there called strike.
Just curious to see how long Gurney will go, given that he threw 3 1/3 2 days ago.
1-1's cracked foul. Yeah, we'll be interested to see, but maybe he just has a rubber band arm and can go a couple innings for the Bucs and send it off to the bullpen. But Arnett, starting a couple days ago, he's a big bullpen piece, and Rudd has gone too many innings. 1-2's fouled away. Rudd pitched the last couple innings of that game against the Chinooks yesterday. So he's probably not available. Arnett, I don't believe, would be available.
Wouldn't think Eddie Torres is available.
0-2 is low and away.
He's pitched 2 days in a row.
1-2 swung on and missed. Blew the fastball right by him, and meeting my own words, saying that he's not the biggest strikeout pitcher. Gurney's got that stuff.
Yeah, maybe he heard you. Could see he was pumped up with that one.
Now batting.
Well, he is obsessed with me. So
First baseman number 27.
He was
Chase
pumped up about the strikeout
Wilcox.
getting off the mound. He loves to hang out with us, that's for sure. But huge to get that first out after loading the bases before and out in the first inning.
I think in his second life, me and Gurney are best friends. I can't see it, but maybe he can. So I think that's why
he loves
so
having you
attractive.
around.
Yeah, Gurney's a great guy. Hey, if he keeps pitching well, I'll hang out with him a little bit more, keep him company. 0-1 called strike. 0-2 now.
Gurney, definitely one of the goofiest guys on the team.
Whew. Goofy might be an understatement. 0-2 here. Misses low and away.
I'd say PK definitely at the top, and then Gurney and Wyatt Halverson probably one step below him.
Yeah. Hit to center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Chase Wilcox gets that average up a little bit more.
Hey, for Gurney, just need what you had in the one pitch last inning. Ground ball double play. End this thing, get it back to the Bucs bats. Because, in all honesty,
your
Bucs have been in the field so much defensively. Briggs been in that crouch so much. Make Kendrick get back out there with a short rest would be huge.
Drake Kerr, not the ideal candidate for a ground ball double play. It'd have to be something sharp off his bat. That dugout for the Bucs is very empty. Everyone else in the bullpen, with that open bullpen over there, pretty nice to watch a game.
As long as you're paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
I think I said it last time we were here. Kind of fits with the Miners wearing the dark green and gold of the Oakland Athletics. The open bullpens, of course, at the Coliseum.
Wilcox goes. That one's in the dirt, and it's swung and missed on by Drake Kerr. They'll throw back to second. They got him. They got him. They get Wilcox. He was drifting off the bag just a bit. And Brody Briggs, what a play. Well, he was barely off the bag. No one but Brody Briggs could notice that.
And for Briggs, we shouldn't even be surprised because, yes, it's a surprising play, but with Briggs behind the plate, it's not. He's always trying to make that throw that other players just wouldn't see, trying to get that extra out, and you better be a smart base runner with him behind the plate, and in that situation, Wilcox wasn't.
0-1 misses upstairs, and Wilcox taking a big turn because I think he realized that ball almost got away from Briggs, and maybe just thinking, if Briggs can't find it, I can snag third base, which is not a bad thought at all. 1-1 is popped up into right field. Long run for Andrew Lamb, and he lays out, not going to get it. And another great effort by Andrew Lamb, and he got a lot of hustle over there and will always give 100%, but just ain't able to come up with that. But going back to that play, Wilcox probably doing the right thing and taking a pretty big turn, maybe just too big of a turn, and I think that's just a better play by Brody Briggs.
Yeah, I don't even think the turn was all that big. It was a perfect throw, and also heads up by Peyton Knowles to be ready for that throw.
And I think also Briggs immediately fired down, which honestly spooked Wilcox, and he kind of slipped a little bit on the dirt. 1-2 is off the end of the bat foul, and I think that's what really hurt him too. He slipped and tried to slide back, but that initial misstep really hurt him, and Briggs able to gun him down. We've seen Briggs throw to second, first a lot, trying to get some runners out, and to no avail, but that one, he got him that time. 1-2, hitting to center field. Hunsaker is there, drifts over, and makes that grab for out number 3. So Gurney comes in, faces the minimum, gets some help from Brody Briggs as we head to the third inning. Still a 3-0 lead for the Miners.
Along with his wife. Number 6, Josh Hankins.
Welcome back, top third. Josh Hankins will lead it off, and the second time he gets to lead off so far in today's game. Grounded out to the third baseman, Nick Bisaccia, his first at bat. Bucks in need of some runs. Got to score early here. Can't let the Miners pitching settle in too much. That one's downstairs to Noah Kendrick, but also on the other hand, Will, we talked about the Bucks scoring early on the Miners and them being able to maintain, or excuse me, them being able to come back and really settle down. Saw in that 4-3 loss. Miners starter, I think that was Timmerman. Was it Hostetler? I think it was Hostetler who came in and he was the starter for the Miners. And after 3 spot put up by the Bucks, as this one is popped up near us actually, just behind us. But what I was saying was Bucks put up a 3 spot against Hostetler in the first inning, and then just totally shut down the Bucks bats after that.
Yep, he did. He ended up pitching 6 innings, which when you give up 3 in the first, not always expected.
Called strike, and the Bucks just had no answers after that. So even if the Bucks can get a couple runs here in the next couple innings off Kendrick, doesn't mean that he can still go very far in this game. A ground ball towards Cochran at short. He ranges over, high throw, but they still got him. Hankins thought that Chase Wilcox came off the bag a little bit, but I think he kept at least one of his spikes down.
Number 8.
Yeah, I think he did as well.
Andrew Lamb.
For Hankins, I guess worth a try to bring the argument, but not to be. Good play over there at short by Cochran.
That one hit any sharper, and it's probably a base hit through to center field. Fortunate luck for Hankins. That will bring up Andrew Lamb, a walk in his first at bat. It's where we saw those command struggles for Kendrick in terms of getting to 3-ball counts. Lamb squares but pulls it back.
Yeah, Bisaccia was way back
Right.
behind third base. Now a little bit closer in.
Not sure why. Lamb can hit it opposite field, but doesn't really pepper balls towards third, and he went around on that one. Not even going to peel down. 1 ball, 1 strike. Very uniform fit for this Miners team. I'll get to that in a second. 1-1 misses low and inside. All the infielders, catcher and the center fielder, Drake Kerr, wearing those high socks, and you got Kendrick on the mound and the 2 corner outfielders wearing those long pants. Just the Miners always look very uniform. Lamb rolls over on this one. Chase Wilcox at first, grabs it, and will step on the bag himself for out number 2. 2 quick outs for the Bucks two first batters will bring up Cole Carlone, a chance to get some payback.
Yep, I know Carlone was definitely looking forward to this trip
Now
to the
batting
plate.
number 23,
Has had to
Cole
sit
Carlone.
a little bit after being pulled and probably had some things going through his head about how he would have liked that outing to have gone differently, but still a chance to have an impact on this game, and we know he can have an impact with one swing.
First pitch he sees is a ball inside. Inside part of the plate to lefties, not being too friendly. Last game yesterday, very tight zone. Today, similar. That's in the dirt. Ryan Callahan on deck. Cole Carlone would love to get himself on and give Callahan a chance.
Callahan, the lone Bucs hit so far.
2 balls, no strikes. Kendrick looking for his first strike and not going to get it. Check swing. He didn't go, though. That one's in the dirt. And that was a wacky pitch. Not sure what Carlone was thinking. Now, obviously, it didn't go around, but.
Yeah, must have been a real nasty breaker because it ended up bouncing pretty much right in front of Carlone's right foot.
3-0. He finds the strike zone, and I would say, well, the Bucs maybe just scratch across 1 run here, but with this Miners pitching staff, it seems like you really got to either tie this one up, take the lead, put a big crooked number up, because you don't know if you're going to get another shot as that one's fouled off.
Yes, but at the same time, if you're going into it with that approach,
Right.
you're not going to be very successful at the plate. One pitch at a time, one at bat at a time.
And I think the Bucs do that.
Yeah, I think the Bucs do too. We don't often see them strike out because they were taking too big of a swing.
Next one misses. That's ball 4. Carlone gets a 2-out walk, and I think that their mentality is always just passing the baton and moving the line, next guy up, and at bat by at bat. But of course, if you're up
Now
here,
batting number 17,
if you're a fan of the
Ryan
Bucs, you're
Callahan.
maybe just thinking the struggles off the Miners. Man, we gotta tie this one up right here, right now. But I think the Bucs are still confident that if they get 1 or 2 runs here, they can get 1 or 2 runs the next couple innings and fight their way back.
Yep.
Just because they haven't done so in the recent past, doesn't mean they can't do so now. They throw back to first. Carlone just barely safe in there.
Yeah, he had strayed away. Luckily for him, Wilcox wasn't close enough, so by the time Wilcox got the ball, he still had to go find Carlone to apply the tag. But for Carlone, that's a prime example of a good approach at the plate. You know, going up there, he wanted to do more than just take a walk with the way he pitched in the first, but he still had a Bucs approach at the plate.
Great point. Really good at bat, disciplined at bat from Cole Carlone. Tells you a lot about him and how he really just plays for the team.
And that's not surprising for me and you who have been around him over these couple of months. Just an outstanding guy.
And it is surprising to see in summer baseball because a lot of guys just playing to boost their stats a little bit. 2-0 is hammered deep into right field. Going back, McCausland, he looks up. That one is gone! Ryan Callahan sends this one out of here. A 2-run shot, and the Bucs bring the deficit down to 1.
How about that? Ryan Callahan, not the biggest extra base threat. In fact, picked up his first extra base hit of the whole season with a triple yesterday. And then today he one-ups it with a blast.
Wow, what a shot by Ryan Callahan, Will. That was similar to that double, but it just had a little bit more of the launch angle. And I will say, I didn't think it had the height to get out of here, but he pulverized that ball. And I don't care that it was a wall scraper. Getting that over that right field wall is difficult, especially with the 3 feet extra.
Hey, how about that? He made it more difficult on himself being left-handed. Made that choice a long time ago, knowing he'd have to play a game here at Matsu. He's got to work with 3 feet longer. Why would he be left-handed? Didn't matter. Still got it over that wall.
What an answer back from this Bucs team. Eisenstadt takes a called strike. Wow. A lot of things not on my bingo card for this game, and honestly, a 2-run shot by a guy that just had his first extra base hit yesterday was not on it either. Check swing, Eisenstadt didn't go. And what a job by Carlone beforehand.
Yep.
Like you said, a guy like Carlone coming out on the mound and really just, and I can't put this in a better way, laying an egg in the first inning, coming out and probably wanting a big base hit gapper and settles for a walk with 2 outs. And, I mean, it's really just remarkable, that at-bat. And then Callahan just sending that one out of here. And you know the Bucs bats all want to answer, and they all want to get the same pitch that Callahan got. See if Eisenstadt gets it. 1-2 misses outside.
And I believe I misspoke saying that triple was yesterday. It was actually 2 days ago in Game 2 against the Pilots, but it was a huge hit in that game. The Bucs were down 2-0.
Oh,
He
right.
picked up the triple, didn't score that inning, but scored 1 the next inning and 5 the inning after that.
Deuce's wild pitch misses downstairs. Games would go by so fast, Will.
Especially when you play 4 in 3 days.
Yeah, I could have sworn that triple was the other day or yesterday from Callahan. I guess I'm getting that confused with the Burns double now. 3-2 pitch, hit to center field. This is going to get down for a base hit. Drake Kerr going to have to play it on a hop. Back-to-back hits for the Bucs, and they're in business.
Yep. Just like that, the tying run's aboard at first base, and I was hoping Kerr would lay out for that because I don't think he was going to get to it, and it would have gotten past him and would have been a long run for Scour McCausland to get over to that. Unfortunately, just the single, but the Bucs will take it. 2 hits in this inning, a bomb and a single, and just like that, you're back in this game. And even if you don't get Eisenstadt in this inning, you scored 2, only a 1-run game, and at that point, anybody who comes up to the plate's the tying run.
Exactly right. Brody Briggs trying to keep the line moving. All of this done with 2 down as that one's low and in. Hankins, Lamb both retired. Carlone with that huge walk. And then Callahan, the big 2-run shot.
And even though it's 2 down, it's not surprising because this Bucs team makes you work for every single out.
See if Briggs can make Kendrick work a little bit harder than he wants. And he pops this one up to right field. A long run for McCausland still coming in, and he grabs that just short of the line. But that is all after a 2-run shot from Ryan Callahan brings the lead to just 1. 3-2 is the score. The Miners just lead it, like I said, by 1 run. Welcome back, bottom of the third. And in case you missed what happened just last inning, Ryan Callahan, a 2-run shot makes this a 3-2 ball game. And Chad Gurney back out on the hill, a 1-2-3 inning last time out. As he faced the minimum, got some help from Brody Briggs with a nice throw back down to second base. But we stand here in the bottom half of the third inning. 3-2 lead now for the Miners. First pitch from Gurney, a called strike.
And you led that off by saying, I'm sorry if you missed it. Or if you missed it, I'm saying I'm sorry if you missed it because it was something to see.
Sure it was. That ball was absolutely hammered. A big swing and a miss from McCausland, or check swing. 1-1.
It looked like, I think it was a called strike. It looked like the breaking ball on the front door the first time and then got him to chase the second time. Or was it a ball?
That one missed, so at least 1 ball, but we're looking up at the scoreboard. I think that someone's got it a little messed up.
He went around, so it's 1-2 and still 1-2.
Ryan Callahan, yeah, he hit that ball hard. Just squeaked it over the wall, though, and we talk about how difficult it is to hit home runs in ABL ball, and that one just shows you his tremendous power. 2-2. Ooh, off the leg of Gurney. Going to be a tough play. Callahan, spin move, throw, just not in time to get McCausland, who's speedy down the line. But what a great attempt at making that play. And let's go see if Gurney is okay. Shaking off Brody Briggs, who's going to come out there anyway. I think he's telling Gurney that we're going to have to come out and talk to you no matter what you say. So the home plate umpire will talk to him.
Yeah, for Hankins, that would have been unbelievable over there at third. Such a quick spin and throw, but he was always against the odds on that one. And good
Into
to
the
see that
batter
Gurney
box, your
thank you there.
designated
But
hitter number
He was really
35.
close to getting a pretty
Brian
fast
Duran.
McCausland.
Yeah.
If Duran, the batter up right now, is running down the line, being that he's a catcher designated hitter, I think they might have a chance.
I wouldn't say anything too bad about Duran. With that mustache and his big body, he could come up here and get you.
First pitch to Duran, called strike.
We talk about how big a lot of the pitchers are for this minors team. Well, Duran, a big hitter. The rest of the guys, not all the same way. As Duran, number 35, the designated hitter, we also see catch for this team listed at 6'3", 230, and he's every bit of that.
No balls, one strike to Duran. He squares, and he lays down a really nice bunt. Callahan's going to have to make a play. The throw to first is not in time.
It looked like Eisenstadt's foot came off the bag.
Yeah, no signal that his foot came off the bag, but I'm guessing that's what the first base umpire thinks. So it looks like that's going to be a bunt for
batting, your
Hankins.
second
Did
baseman,
everything
number
he
one,
could, and same thing with Tommy Eisenstadt.
Patrici.
So quickly, 2 aboard, nobody out. Gurney, similar situation that Cole Carlone was in the first inning.
And you talked about how Durand, if he was running, maybe that they get the first guy, but
He's
I
pretty
guess
speedy.
I guess we weren't aware. Sorry, I was not familiar with your game, Brandon Durand. Once again, Josh Hankins at third base doing everything he can.
He was pretty far back, not expecting the bunt, which from a designated hitter / catcher, I don't blame him. And that one is fouled off the bat of Don Patrizzi trying to lay down a bunt, and the Miners just trying to play small ball right now.
Yeah, and we see that Hankins in, honestly, a lot of the time, but I don't blame him for not being in against Durand. He's not the guy that you would
Right.
expect to be doing that. But now seeing this small ball from Patrizzi, not surprising at all. Saw a ton of this the first time these two teams played.
Hankins can't cheat too far up the lines. Got to worry about McCausland coming to third. And this is bunted in the air. Eisenstadt has it. Throws to second base. And that one is one hop to burn, so it will not be a double play. I think McCausland maybe still gets back if that's a dart thrown to Will Burns, but not sure, Will.
It's a tough angle that Eisenstadt was coming in at to make that
Now
throw,
batting, your
especially
left
given that
fielder,
Eisenstadt,
number
we haven't
8,
seen him play any other
Riker
position other than
Scow.
first base. It's not like Callahan where we've seen him in the outfield and in third base. So just a tough throw to make, and I think that anybody would have trouble making that play, but luckily for the Bucs getting that out, though.
Also, if Eisenstadt was a lefty like most traditional first basemen are, that would have been a way easier throw for him. That's not the case. Now at the dish, Riker Scow with one down.
What a gift of an out, though. Couple gifted outs already in this game. That bunt pop-up, the throw down to second for Brody Briggs.
Gurney going to step off. And now I'm really thinking if Carlone is there, being that he's a lefty glove, probably have that out because that angle's so much better. He doesn't have to turn around like Eisenstadt had to turn. This is hit into right field. That's going to be trouble. Lamb is cutting it off. McCausland is going to score. They're going to hold the runner, Brandon Duran, at third base. But the Miners get one run back. It's a 4-2 lead now.
And a smart play to hold the runner. Lamb did a good job to get that ball in quickly, but a little bit of damage already done even once he got to it, with Scow just getting that ball
Coming up
down
to the plate,
over the head
your
of
shortstop, number
Eisenstadt
19,
in front of Lamb down the line.
Ryan Cochran.
So they'll bring up Ryan Cochran, a walk back in the first inning and an RBI. Runners at second and third, just one down. That's going to prompt the infield to come in.
And I love that because it's a tight game. Every run matters. You know that it's a good minor staff. You don't know how many runs you can get. Would love to see them stop at 4 at the end of this inning.
First pitch to Cochran is a called strike. And Bucks lucky that that ball wasn't hit even harder, or it's going all the way to the wall. And Lamb was super shallow on it too. 0-1 ground ball to Hankins, and falling is Duran. He's going to get caught up in a rundown. The throw home, and they got him. So Duran slipped as he was going home, and the Miners really unlucky. The Bucks catch a break. First and second, 2 down now.
and not sure if he slipped because he was changing his mind of whether to come home or not. If he's going straight home, Hankins still has him easily. If he's coming back to third, would have been an interesting play to see how
Now
Hankins would
batting,
have managed it. But once
your
again,
catcher, number 5,
Miners
Blake
giving the
Bucks.
Bucks a few outs here.
Will, I think that first initial big step was towards home, like you said. I think Hankins gets that. And if Durand decides to go back, I don't think he gets back in time. I mean, that was a huge step forward when he slipped. So a misplay by Durand on the base pass will bring up Blake Bounce. He takes the ball outside. That means a fielder's choice for Cochran, who stands aboard at first base. And it moves over Riker Scow to second, or excuse me, keeps Riker Scow at second. He did not advance. I think the Miners would have liked to see him advance too. That ball was sent home to Brody Briggs. They throw to second, and they look like, oh, I don't know how they didn't get him. That tag was applied right on the top of the head of Riker Scow, and somehow, some way, Bucks do not get that out. That would have been a huge third out.
I know the Miners like being aggressive on the base paths, but they got to realize what the Bucks are doing here. The Bucks are really counting on them being aggressive, and I would not be surprised if they tone things down a little.
2-0 finds the zone. Considering how this inning started, a single, or back-to-back singles, excuse me, I think the Bucks will gladly take just the one run in this inning if they can get out of it. Still need this third out, though. Pitch to Baltz. Another called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Deuces wild. Cloudy, overcast day here in Palmer, Alaska. Ernie trying to sit down the Miners here in the bottom half of the third inning, just allowing the one run. Shaking off Briggs a couple times. See if he steps off. Someone's got to call time. No one does, but Gurney comes set. The righty delivers. Swung on and missed. Went with the breaking ball and gets Bolts out on a swinging strikeout. He does surrender the one run on an RBI double from Riker Scow. We head to the fourth inning. Now a 4-2 lead for the Miners.
Today's game.
Welcome back. Top of the fourth inning. Due up. Peyton Knowles is first in with the play-by-play for these middle three. Here is Will Hopkins.
Thank you very much, Vic. 4-2, the Bucks trail it. 3 in the first from the Miners, 2 in the third for the Bucks, followed by 1 from the Miners, and that's where we stand. Peyton Knowles swings at the first pitch, rolls it to Dom Patrizzi. He has no problems with it, and 1 pitch retires the first man for the Bucks in the fourth.
Yeah, I would like to see Knowles try to battle that at bat. I really do like his variety, though, because we talked about his team leading, or now team tied with Andrew Lamb with 20 walks. But those 20 walks for Peyton Knowles, you see him really go deep in accounts, and sometimes you see him swing first pitch. You really just don't know what you're going to get out of Peyton Knowles at bat to at bat, but you know he's going to put together either a really good and long one, or he might get you first pitch.
First pitch was a strike to Will Burns. Second one isn't, and we talked yesterday about no sleeves for Will Burns, and we asked him about it today before the game if that was a superstitious thing or what, and he goes, yeah, that was my first time this season, right? And we said, yeah. He said it was just the fact that they weren't clean, but that's a clean base hit up the middle. Ryan Cochran laying out for it. He's not going to get there. And Will Burns, no sleeves, no problem yet again.
And I will tell you, I almost can guarantee you that we will not see him wear sleeves again unless he goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, 2 straight games or something like that. I mean, this was a really big
Now
slump
batting
that
number 1,
Will Burns is just coming
Riley
out of. Had a couple
Hunsaker.
base hits 2 days ago, or maybe just a base hit a couple days ago, and then just yesterday
Double.
had that big double. Just was 1 for 4, but scored a run. Still looked really good.
Yeah, he said the sleeves, one, they were dirty, and two, it was a warm day, so that combination, but I think they're probably clean for today, and after the double and the run scored yesterday, I thought no reason not to. Another beautiful day, a little bit cooler than yesterday in the low 60s, as Hunsaker takes a strike. Playing center field today, hasn't been very busy out there. Burns stays put at first for now, as Kendrick fires low and inside. 72 pitches for Noah Kendrick now. Would love to see the Bucs continue to work that up and get into this Miners bullpen. Not a knock on them, but the strength of this team is definitely the starting pitching.
Sure is, and like you said, Hunsaker just one opportunity out there in center field. Besides that one other fly ball, but it was weakly hit. Or no, that was the bunt pop out by Patrizzi. Other than that, the outs, fielder's choices, a strikeout, that double play, and then just the miscues by the Miners on the base pass really have been the problem. And there's not been a lot of ground ball plays, just that one double play, couple strikeouts, and those 2 fly balls. But other than that, it's the Miners shooting themselves in the foot.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with 1 on here at the top of the 4th. Couple of hops to the shortstop, Cochran. Tough last hop, and because of that, no double play. Good speed from Hunsaker. It looked like that last hop in front of Cochran kind of messing with him a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, it didn't look too tricky to be a hop. He just waited on it, and I think that if he charges it and picks it,
Now
not that
batting
it's a crazy hard
number
pick
6,
at all, but if he picks
Josh
that ball and comes
Higgins.
up a little bit on it, he's got a way better shot at a double play. I'm just a little confused of why he let that ball get to him. Not like if he charged it, it would have been a weird angle to go to second base, but him waiting on it costed him the double play opportunity, and now top of the order.
Yep. Not quite gifting the Bucs an out, but somewhat close to it. A chance where he could have gotten 2. And now, this at-bat, the cheeseburger is going to pay off for Josh Hankins. I can feel it. For those of you that weren't with us at the beginning of the game, had a cheeseburger about 30 minutes prior to the first pitch. I said, oh, that's the pregame meal. He goes, yeah. I go, aren't you hitting in like 30 minutes as the leadoff guy? He's like, yeah, I'm going to get a double first AB. Didn't happen first AB, but I'm feeling good about this one. Pitches inside as it's a stolen base for Riley Hunsaker. Not the strongest throw from Blake Baltz down to second, and now just a single for Josh Hankins would bring in Hunsaker.
Good to see those wheels moving for Hunsaker. Getting down the line really nicely, snagging a bag too. It's got to feel good. And Will Burns, that hot dog he had paid off about 20 minutes before first pitch. But he's even cutting it a little bit closer. But then again, Hankins is leading off and Burns is batting towards the end of the order. But still.
So 2 balls, 1 strike to Josh Hankins. Andrew Lamb waits on deck. Would love to see him have a chance here in the top of the 4th. Bucs trailing by 2 runs. Hunsaker in scoring position. And now Hankins in a really good spot. First pitch strike, 3 balls since then. Finds himself in a hitter's count. First base is open. We'll see if Kendrick somewhat pitches around Hankins, but really is pick your poison with the lefty double specialist, Andrew Lamb, coming up. 3-1. Swung on, hit high in the air on the right side. Chase Wilcox in foul territory, just shy of the warning track over there. Makes the play for the 3rd out. So the Bucs go down without a run in the top of the 4th. We head to the bottom half, still 4-2 Miners. Bottom of the fourth inning.
Now
No
batting,
runs for the Bucs in the
number
top
20,
half. Chad Gurney
Nick
trying to deliver the same fate
Bisaccia.
to the Miners. 9-1-2. First one up is Nick Bisaccia, and Chad Gurney struck him out first time these two met today. And there's an awkward check swing, and he did go around.
Gurney looking for the same magic he had back in the second where he faced the minimum. Gave up the base hit to Wilcox, but that was erased by Brody Briggs. And then fly out to Drake Kerr. That was a 1-2-3 inning. Mixed in a strikeout there, too. But last inning just struggled a little bit. Back-to-back singles. And might be a problem where he's just throwing too many strikes. And I think Carlone, the opposite. No hits given up in the first. Just a lot of walks. And for Gurney now, 4 base hits.
Swing and a miss. That's 4 strikeouts for Chad Gurney. Second one of Bisaccia. And for Gurney, it looks like they're really struggling with the breaking ball.
Yeah.
Stepping up to the
And
plate.
with throwing so many strikes, I bet you're probably going to get a lot of
Chase
strikeouts, which he has so far.
Wilcox.
But also at the same time, you're also going to run into a lot of base hits because you're throwing the ball in the strike zone a lot.
Chase Wilcox digs in. He scored the first run of the game on the Durand walk as he takes a strike. And it's understandable that Gurney is throwing a lot of strikes, like you said, maybe too many, just because that was probably what he's instructed to do after what happened to Carlone. 8 balls, 30 strikes for Gurney as this strike is swung on, hit high in the air to right. Not much that Lamb has to do to get under it, and there's the second out. Quick inning so far for Gurney with Love 1-2-3 and a quick 1-2-3 at that. Give things back to the Bucs bats.
Number 9, Drake Kerr.
There's something about batting super soon after batting your last time. It almost feels like it's harder for the pitcher to pitch, but also just has your bats in more of a rhythm when it feels like you're out there the whole time. Even if you didn't get a ton going in the previous inning, just getting back out there, I feel like it brings positivity towards trying to cut into this 2-run deficit as Gurney continuing to pound the zone. Kerr fouls off the first pitch. Now there's a ball inside, and honestly, probably good that Gurney threw that ball.
Definitely.
First ball of the inning after 6 strikes. Back in the strike zone, and another foul ball. Strike away from ending this bottom of the fourth in, 3 minutes or so?
Yeah, Gurney's just very efficient, and even with the strikeout mixed in there, it gets quick outs besides that fly ball. Just a couple pitches to Wilcox.
The Bucs have needed him to be efficient with him coming off a pretty short rest. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Barreled up coming in Ryan Callahan, and he makes the play. 2 pop outs and a swinging strikeout. Gurney takes care of the Miners in the fourth. 1-2-3 as we head to the fifth.
Great. Andrew
New
Lamb.
pitcher on for the Miners. It's Hayden Hottenbach, big number 50.
Yep, 7th appearance in his 6 beforehand. Actually has started 3 games, but I'm guessing coming out of the bullpen more recently. That first one just misses, but going back to him, Hattenbach, 1-1, 13 innings pitched, 6 hits given up, 6 earned runs, good for a 4.15 ERA. And he is a big boy out there. They all are.
Yes, he is.
It's ridiculous, actually. I mean, gosh, these guys are huge. And number 50, so he's 6'7", 240. Man, they make him different in Santa Barbara.
And
Right?
not Midwestern like a lot of the other pitchers. Gets a swing and a miss out of Andrew Lamb, but last time out was July 19th, so it's been a little bit of a while for him. 3 innings, 1 run, which was unearned. No, 6 strikeouts, 4 walks, so hopefully the Bucs can take advantage of some lack of command. As Lamb swings at this one, skies it in foul territory on the infield. It looks like it'll be Bisaccia. No! Drops between Baltz and Bisaccia. Another extra out for the Bucs.
Yeah, and that was a really tough play, but I think better communication, and they probably have that one wrapped up. For Bisaccia, I don't think he expected how long of a run that was going to be, and he also stopped because I think he expected Baltz to get to it, but it kept tailing away from, honestly, it really tailed away from both of them because it was heading towards the third base dugout, and that's far away from Baltz, and it's also far away from Bisaccia, so Lamb really hitting it into the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, still an out that I think the Miners would expect to make.
100%.
Hottenbach's second time against the Bucs in league play. 1 inning, 1 walk, no hits, no runs, no strikeouts. Last time, as that's going to get past a diving Dom Patrizzi. You give the Bucs an extra out. Look what happens.
Yep, you're exactly right. Bucs take advantage. Love to see it. That was the Bucs all June. Seemed like they would get so much help from the other team, but it wasn't like the Bucs were still just barely winning. They would get help from the other team, and they'd still probably win by 1 or 2 runs, if not. But with the help from teams like the Miners, who had 3 or 4 errors the first game we played against, the Bucs were able to score 10 runs. So
Now batting number 23.
that's the type of stuff I'm saying. Is the Bucs really take advantage well against them, and that is not score. That is a single for Andrew Lamb. It should be.
Yeah, right call. As pitches inside to Carlone, who I'd said Gurney had 4 strikeouts. It's actually 3. There's some problems with the stats that we'll make sure the Miners get fixed so that's correctly attributed. 1 for Carlone, 3 for Gurney, and we can go ahead and close the line on Noah Kendrick. 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned as Carlone puts this one into left center field, but Drake Kerr says he has it, and he does. There's the first out of the 5th inning, but like I was saying for Kendrick, 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. And pitch count just got a little bit up there in the 70s, so not surprising to see that he was pulled. Finished the game throwing exactly 78 pitches. And now Hottenbach has seen Lamb reach. He's seen Carlone fly out. And now the home run man, Ryan Callahan.
Yep, here he is. Just another base hit right here. Nothing too crazy.
And that's the approach he usually has.
Yeah, exactly. Just turned on one. Maybe we'll hopefully have a better eye, or not eye, but just a better sense for that power swing.
Instead, wisely lays off 2-0. He went the other way with a single his first time to the plate. And then the home run the second time. Would love to get Andrew Lamb at least into scoring position, who's going with the pitch, which is swung on and missed by, it's a foul tip by Callahan. Unfortunate that time, I think, was honestly mostly swinging to protect Lamb, and in the end got a piece of it.
I think both parties are upset. I think that Baltz really wanted to haul that one in and try to get, or I guess it would have been a foul tip either way.
So Lamb back to first, stays put for the 2-1, check swing, and Callahan went around. Hottenbach fell down, landing with that pitch. He seems to be fine, smiling ear to ear.
I'm surprised that his ERA is above 4. Hottenbach has all the potential to have a really low ERA. Lefty, tall.
Straight over the top.
Yeah. And honestly, it's not a bad slot to see if you're a lefty batter. We've seen so many pitchers like Aiden Collins yesterday for the Chinooks, just a weird snappy motion being a lefty, but honestly, Hottenbach is pretty nice if you're a lefty batter.
This lefty stays alive, sorry.
No. I think that's maybe why he's getting hit around a little bit, and maybe he's not taking care of the amount of lefties that he wants to, and hopefully Callahan can exploit that. Andrew Lamb did.
And talking about Aiden Collins yesterday, I talked to Max Ross after the game. He said that facing Collins was one of the hardest things he's done all season. As Lamb takes off, but it doesn't matter because Callahan walks. But I said, haven't you faced Collins before? He said, yeah, and I don't remember him looking as good as he
Now
looked
batting number
yesterday.
29,
He was
Tommy
saying that he
Eisenstadt.
was sitting in the low 90s, getting up to the mid 90s, and slider in the mid to high 80s. And that slider we know had a lot of movement, but for Hottenbach, very different, much taller, much more over the top. Bucks have 2 on with 1 out. Tommy Eisenstadt singled up the middle his last time to the plate.
I don't know if they have a gun over there, but I'm a little surprised to hear that he was sitting mid 80s for that slider. Looked a little bit slower, but it still moved a lot, and I'm not surprised. Aiden Collins is just that weird motion from the left side. It is almost impossible for lefties to hit him, let alone righties. But back to this game, Hottenbach is a much easier delivery for lefties to see. Wondering if Eisenstadt now can take advantage of a lot of lefties coming up for the Bucks to take advantage.
Lamb at second, Callahan at first. Eisenstadt at the plate with the Bucks trailing by 2 runs, and Eisenstadt takes ball 1.
Got to stay in the batter's box if you're Eisenstadt. Seen a couple Bucks inch out of the plate on those inside pitches. The Bucks normally do a great job of staying in the box and sometimes letting that pitch hit them, but inside corner's not been given.
Lamb dancing around at second, per usual, wasn't going. As here's a called strike. Brody Briggs waits on deck. Would have a chance this inning, barring a double play. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Lamb still dancing. That one's way up and in a little bit. More surprising that Eisenstadt
Did you see
moved his head.
Baltz
Yeah,
there?
Balt's faking that the ball got away from him, and these Bucks a bit too wise for that.
Yeah, and I love Lamb's awareness over there. He's able to focus on the pitcher, the batter, and the shortstop behind him all at the same time.
Eisenstadt fouls it straight back. Even count now. But yeah, these Bucks were not fooled at all.
No, got to be a little bit better of a deke if you want to get Andrew Lamb or any of these Bucks.
The 2-2. Swung on, hit high in the air to right center field. Long run for McCausland, but instead it's going to be Drake Kerr in center field. Lamb's tagging and heading for third. Callahan stays put at first, and a loud out off the bat of Tommy Eisenstadt.
Yeah, I thought he got a lot more of that one, but
Stepping
just
up to the plate, number
the
5,
wind here, the
Brody
air, everything
Briggs.
just knocking that ball down a little bit and making it hold up there for Drake Kerr to make. And with 2 down, got runners at the corners, and hey, that 2-run shot by Callahan came with 2 outs. That was a big rally started with 2 outs, so inning's certainly not over yet, and Brody Briggs is a great guy to have up in this situation.
Yep, second on the team in doubles with 5. A double here would more than likely tie the game up, or just a single to give the Bucks that 3rd run and get them within 1 run of the 4 on the board from the Miners. Lamb at 3rd, Callahan at 1st. Wouldn't expect Callahan to be a guy to get into some 1st and 3rd action, especially with 2 outs. If roles were reversed and Lamb was at 1st, maybe a different story. 1-0 to Briggs. Fights it off the other way, and they got a sound here for foul balls of breaking glass, and it sounds so realistic. Usually, like, it's pretty obvious that it's not, but here for a half second each time, I'm like, oh no, before realizing that
We don't
everything's
have any
totally fine.
glass. We don't have any glass to break, so you shouldn't be worried.
Well, not us, but 1 ball, 1 strike. Slow roller over to Patrizzi at second. Double clutches, but makes the throw. The Bucks strand 2 runners, another scoreless inning as we head to the bottom of the 5th. No
Leading
runs
us
for the
off at
Bucs in the top of the fifth. Hopefully the same for the Miners
Number
in the bottom of the
30,
fifth, as
Kyle
Chad Gurney has only
McCausland.
thrown 43 pitches in 3 2/3 innings pitched. Done a good job of being efficient. He faces the heart of the Miners order, 3, 4, and 5. McCausland, Duran, and Patrizzi as McCausland takes strike one. He's reached both times. Play that was ruled an error on Cole Carlone, where McCausland laid a bunt down. There was no play to be made as he swings and misses, and also singled.
Yep, just looking for another 1-2-3 inning. Same thing as last inning. Just try to give yourself as many innings to work with as possible.
Misses high to McCausland, but like we said, do enjoy seeing him miss every once in a while. Don't want to throw too many strikes. 10 balls, now 11 and 36 strikes, so more than enough strikes, and don't want to leave one over the plate for one of these big hitters in the middle of the order. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff man in the fifth, and he gets him to reach out and poke this one into right field. Some weak contact and an easy play for Andrew Lamb.
Love to see it.
Pitch on the outer part of the plate. McCausland really reaching
Now
forward
batting,
and
your
just hitting it off
designated
the end
hitter,
of the
number
bat.
35.
Good to hear the
Brandon
Callahan
Duran.
crew checking in. They like that home run by Ryan, and we sure did as well.
I was about to say the same thing.
Oof.
So Brandon Duran steps in. You know he'll be looking to make up for the base running blunder as he swings at the first pitch, hits it hard the other way. Andrew Lamb on a full sprint is going to watch this one hit off the wall. Lamb goes to pick it up, but not before Brandon Duran's into second base, and safe to say he did make up for that base running blunder.
Yeah, he really did, and was really close to getting an opposite field blast. And man, talk about how hard it is to get a home run in general. An opposite field home run. I mean, we saw
batting,
Carlone do it.
your
I
second
don't think we've
baseman,
seen
number
anybody
1,
else do it.
Dom
Bucks or
Patrizzi.
opponents for the Bucks.
And Carlone's home run, that was different than this one would have been, because this was almost directly inside of the foul pole, and it really would have been a screaming opposite field shot. Carlone hit it more into the gap in left center field.
So a man at second base with one out. Number 1 at the plate, Dom Patrizzi. Gurney a couple checks of Durand. Fires a strike on the inside corner. 50th pitch from the Bucks reliever, Chad Gurney. Started a few games earlier this year, but safe to say at this point, the go-to long reliever for Coach Montez and the Bucks. Patrizzi 0 for 2. Bounces it foul.
And Gurney, just hope he tries to be a little bit more careful with those pitches over the heart of the plate. I know that he's trying to fill up the zone, but he's done a really good job of getting ahead of batters. Might be time that we see him try to waste more pitches. That might help out a little bit.
No balls and 2 strikes to the second baseman. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. There is strikeout number 4 from Chad Gurney. Got the stats all updated for you, and he puts that
Stepping
strikeout
into the
total
box,
right back to
number
where
8,
we thought it was.
Riker Scow.
Great job from Gurney. Getting ahead, staying ahead in the count.
Now 2 away for the left fielder, Riker Scow. Duran still at second base. A big run that base runner in Duran represents. Huge for Gurney and the Bucks to keep this deficit at just the 2 runs. 2 runs on 5 hits for the Bucks. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Miners, as Scow fouls it away.
Scow, a double in his last at bat. Went opposite field as well. And just surprised that Lamb is still so shallow over there. I mean, all the infielders are just incredibly shallow. Outfielders, excuse me. And the Bucks are lucky that ball by Scow wasn't hit even harder, because like I said, it could have gone all the way to the wall. It would have scored 2 runs and not just the one, because Lamb was super shallow, but that ball right in line with him and able to cut it off.
They really all are very, very shallow. Really notice it with Hunsaker, because with him, there's a lot more room behind him, playing center field, 390 out there. And we just got to hope that Scow doesn't square one up.
Sanagorski does a really good job at positioning his infield and outfielders where he wants them, and that ball by Duran was getting over the head of Lamb either way.
Too far inside.
So it didn't really matter that he was shallow in that one, and probably the right decision to keep him pretty shallow. I mean, we've seen a lot of fly balls, but nothing where anyone's had to be on their high horse to get.
Last inning, fly balls to each of the corner outfielders, Lamb and Callahan, and they hardly had to move.
Right. Besides that, last inning, fly ball to Hunsaker. That's been it in the outfield.
You mentioned that double from Scow in the third. He picked up an RBI for the fourth run. 3-1, beautiful breaking ball in the front door, especially with 3 balls. Such an easy pitch to give up on and take, thinking you're getting ball 4 until it's strike 2.
It's crazy confidence, Will. 3-1 breaker like that, bearing in. Just a lot of confidence that he can land the breaking ball. Might go right back to it.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A look at second, and now home with it. Swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Went back to that breaking ball, different location, same result. It's strike 3, strikeout number 5 for Gurney. Another 0 for the Miners. Bucs looking to cut into this 2-run deficit when we come back for the 6th. Peyton Knowles to the plate for the Bucs. What a great bottom of the 5th from Chad Gurney.
Mm-hmm.
Nasty stuff with the breaking ball.
It's just, gross.
Placing it up and in, looking and down and away, swinging in quick succession. Really great to see, especially from our vantage point.
Yeah, glad we got a trash can here. That one made me sick, that last one. Just disgusting. Talk about a ball that is starting on the inner half of the plate, and it is in the middle of the left-handed batter's box at the end. That's how that pitch was. Just no chance at hitting it, and so hard to lay off of.
Swing and a miss from Peyton Knowles makes it 1-2. Hottenbach out for his second inning through 22 pitches in the top of the 5th. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Peyton Knowles takes strike 3. First strikeout for Hottenbach.
Don't see Peyton Knowles strike out that much, and
especially not looking.
definitely didn't like the
No,
call.
right,
It
number
looked a
9.
little bit on the outside part of the
Will
plate, but
Burns.
Rottenbach gets it, and that's just the 10th strikeout for Peyton Knowles, and still has double the amount of walks.
Only the 3rd strikeout from this staff of the Miners as Hottenbach misses to Burns. Only 2 strikeouts for Noah Kendrick. The Bucs have done a good job putting the ball in play.
That was another interesting call from the home plate umpire. Will Burns not liking it.
I like your word choice of interesting. 1-1, hit the other way, foul.
Well, you know what? I'm just interested to see where they thought that pitch was, because I definitely didn't see it as a strike, but I could be wrong. Have been before a couple times.
1-2, just a bit upstairs. You can see what Hottenbach was trying to do that time. Bring a backdoor breaking ball in the zone. Couldn't do so, though. 2-2, and Burns swings at a pitch in the dirt as Baltz makes the throw to first to register the strikeout.
Baltz really settled in right now, and guess they just weren't really feeling Noah Kendrick as much. Gave up the 2-run homer, but still pitched a fairly clean 4th inning after that. And then, of course, Hottenbach came in to relieve Noah Kendrick, and looking at his total pitches, Kendrick did not have
78, I believe.
Total pitches 65 for Kendrick, so definitely on the
I had him down for 78, so I think that they
Oh
might have
yeah,
missed a few.
definitely probably missed a couple. So yeah, 78. That is a good bit. So not as surprised as I thought I would be. You could tell the Miners are really trying to win this game and not trying to push Kendrick past his limits of pitch count. And Baku's probably really ready to go. Is just the better option. And yeah, you can really tell that these games are getting really, really important, Will.
100%. Two top teams in the league. 2-0 finds the zone. 2.5 game lead. Bucks win, that would be 3.5. Miners win, that would be 1.5. Can't hurt the magic number, which is at 4. Can only make it go down. As a swing and a grounder to Dom Patrizi. He's been a busy man and is successful with the throw to first. Bucks go down in order. 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 6th. We head to the home half. Bucks looking to keep the
If
Miners
you're
at
still
bay.
feeling hungry,
Home half of the 6th. Bucks trailing
leading
by
your
2
Miners
runs.
off at the
Chad
bottom of the
Gurney
6th.
looking to keep it at that.
Number
Has already
19,
gone
Ryan
4 in 2/3 innings, trying to get through this 6, which would be 5 and 2/3 in 2 days after pitching 3 1/3. That would be incredible.
Yeah, and around 55 pitches right now. Adding that with his total the 2 days ago, you're at almost at 100 pitches. So I'm guessing this is his last inning. And like we were talking during the break, Will probably gonna have to sit for maybe the rest of the regular season. I mean, we've only got four games left or 5 games left in 4 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a lot.
0-1, I think. Briggs was expecting to hear the strike call, didn't come.
Could maybe pitch in that last game versus the Miners. I think the Bucks would love to have him on standby just if something goes crazy, like today. Something went a little awry. Carlone didn't have his stuff, but guessing how good the Bucks pitching staff has been, and given that the Bucks will probably throw their best guys out there, you can assume that the next starts against the Miners will be a little bit better.
1-2 right over Cochran's head. Didn't really flinch.
Mm-mm.
So now 2-2. It's 7, 8, and 9 in this 6th inning. Cochran, Baltz, Bisaccia. Cochran thought about it. Didn't pull the trigger, though, so a full count now for Gurney. Done a great job. No walks so far after the 5 from Carlone. Hoping he can keep it that way with the 3-2. As Cochran stays alive. 7th pitch coming.
Don't usually see long at bats from Gurney. Either gets a fairly quick strikeout or quick ground ball, fly ball.
3-2 in on the hands. Briggs going to give chase, not going to have room. And we talked about these jerseys of the Miners, the green and yellow reminiscent of the A's. Not only that, but I see an old throwback Miners hat in the stands with a much lighter green, reminiscent of the older throwback A's jerseys when they had a lighter green too. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Cochran will not go down without a fight.
Yeah, the Miners' history, recent history, has been a lot better than the A's, though, I would say.
Well, that's not saying much. Don't know that the Miners are relocating. That's also good for them. Swing and a miss. Gurney locating that breaking ball up and in, and Cochran unable to get to it.
Great pitch, Gurney. Long fight, and I said this a couple of times. We've seen long fights a lot, of course. 3-ball, 2-strike counts, foul ball after foul ball
Stepping
after
up to
foul
the
ball. And
plate,
it's not that
your catcher, number
the Bucs
5,
pitchers
Blake
give in
Alt.
necessarily, but most times I would say that the opponents win those battles, those long battles against Bucs pitchers, and I'm not really sure why. Whether they win it by a walk or they earn a base hit, but Gurney wins that battle now.
First pitch swinging for Baltz, who spoils it foul. And it's understandable when you're asked to throw strike after strike after strike. If the batter's fouling it off, then eventually you're probably going to miss.
It's something that wouldn't surprise me if Monty is the one saying, hey, just let him have it. Let's get to the next batter.
0-1 grounder on the right side. High hop into the chest of Eisenstadt. Handles it well and sprints to first base to get his man unassisted.
I think Gurney really wanted to help out. He almost didn't give Eisenstadt a clear lane, but good for Eisenstadt
Now
taking that
batting.
himself, not letting his
Your
pitcher
third
work too
baseman,
hard.
number 20, Nick Basaccia.
So now Gurney, chance for another 1-2-3 inning. Technically hasn't had a 1-2-3, but in the fourth he did face the minimum. Or excuse me, it was a 1-2-3 in the fourth.
That was his first real and only one, I would say.
This one, definitely a real one. Pop out to Andrew Lamb, takes care of the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for the Miners. We come back for the 7th inning. Bucs looking to add to the 2 runs they already have. Final 3 frames here at Herman Brothers Field. Big game between these top 2 teams in the league. The top team trailing by 2 runs, but hopefully
Now
that can
batting
change
number
with
6,
Vic
Josh
Maslia back on the
Jenkins.
mic.
I hope it can change too, Will. Still a 4-2 affair. It's been deadlocked after the Miners picked up that 1 run, as this is a really high fly ball, but it's just going to barely exit the outfield. Ryan Cochran just behind shortstop makes that grab, and Josh Hankins, another first pitch swinging,
Now batting
and
number
another
8,
out for Josh
Andrew
Hankins will
Lamb.
bring up Andrew Lamb, and that's his 4th at bat already. Honestly shocked.
We saw Peyton Knowles ground out on the first pitch he saw last inning, and now Hankins' first pitch he sees with a pop out. Not the best starts to these innings, and for the Bucs, they've left 7 on, picked up 5 hits. So have gotten guys on. That's why they've been able to get through this order a good number of times.
That one's in the dirt to Andrew Lamb.
4 walks.
That one run, that last run for the Miners coming in the 3rd inning is high and almost hits Andrew Lamb. McCausland scored that last run. It was brought in by, I believe, Riker Scouse.
Yep.
So Riker Scouse double scored that, but that we've been deadlocked ever since. Top 7 now. Called strike on to Andrew Lamb. And like I said, Josh Hankins with 4 at-bats, might even have 5. And with only scoring 2 runs, it's kind of weird looking back. But the Miners pitching staff has struggled a little bit with getting the 1, 2, 3 innings. 2-1 skips up there. And Andrew Lamb wisely stays like a statue.
I don't know if that made it to the dirt in front of home plate. I was about 10 feet short.
Hitters count for Lamb. Pitch by Hottenbach, catches a corner. Last inning, Hottenbach got the first 1-2-3 for the Miners in this entire game, believe it or not. Next one is swung on and missed by Andrew Lamb. He picks up another strikeout. And for Hottenbach so far, that is now his third strikeout, and 2 coming last inning.
You can see why it'd be tough to pick up that fastball. It's coming at such an angle with his delivery standing at 6-7 and coming straight over the top. It probably feels even faster, and you've got to try and find that angle and barrel it up really quickly.
2 down, last hope in the 7th is Cole Carlone, and the Miners, after every pitch, got the fans cheering, the dugout chirping as well, and it's just a tough place to play, and surprised at the Bucs the earlier part of the season, scoring 19 runs in their first 2 games here. The next one misses. It wouldn't seem like this ballpark would favor the opponent scoring a lot of runs just with the fan base
here.
Yeah.
So
they've done a really good job at home. 2 losses of those 4 coming against these Bucs. A called strike.
And that's why securing first place is so big. You avoid coming here. You avoid going anywhere except for Mulcahy Stadium.
Called strike 3 takes care of Carlone, and he's frustrated. Hottenbach looks really good. 2 strikeouts to end this 1-2-3 7th inning. We head to the bottom half, but 7th inning stretch coming up. Hope you enjoy that. We'll be right back with the bottom half of this 7th.
Leading us
Welcome
off,
back. Bottom of the 7th inning.
Chase.
And it's Chase Wilcox, the top of the order, due up for the Miners. Still up 2 runs, and that 4th run coming back in the 3rd inning is really big, especially if the Bucs has some momentum and just only get 1 run back. That would have tied the game if the Miners weren't able to get that extra run. But here we stand, still a 4-2 lead as Wilcox hits this into center field, and that's down for a base hit. Still into the game is Chad Gurney. Thought that last inning might have been his last, and it was a short inning, but still now well past 60 pitches, approaching 70 pitches now, and
Over 70 now.
and that's well over 100 pitches in just the span of 3 days, because he pitched 2 games ago.
Yep. And for Wilcox, know that he wanted to pick up a base hit after getting caught going too far away from second base.
So that'll bring up Drake Kerr. Leadoff single for Wilcox. Gurr is going to square to bunt, lays down a beauty. Gurney going to have to go quick. The throw to first is, and it gets away. Gets in the outfield. Lamb gets to it finally, but they'll key it into first. I'm not sure what happened. It didn't look like that bad of a throw.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how this one is scored. I think Bernal is just concerned with having his foot on the bag, which is understandable, playing second, having to cover first on that bunt down the first base line. And Bucks just unable to secure the out, and that's the type of thing. These Miners, they're not the best hitting team in terms of average, but like we've said with the Bucks, if they're giving the Bucks an extra out, the Bucks will take advantage. I'm afraid here the Miners might do the same thing. Gurney in a bit of a jam already with runners on the corners and nobody out.
Adam Inyard has begun warming up and is working really quickly out there in the bullpen, trying to get him ready to go.
Ruled a bunt single.
Bunt for a hit. Ball wasn't, looking back at it, wasn't the best throw to first base. Knowles, being the righty, had to reach his glove over, and I don't think he could haul that baseball in. So a bunt single for Drake Kerr, back-to-back singles. Second time that's happened to Gurney. It happened back in the third, and he was able to leave the inning just giving up the 1 run. Would be a success just to give up the 1 run in this inning, but considering how tough it's been to hit, you don't want to give up any runs if you're Chad Gurney. Big swing and a miss from McCausland stepping out of the box there.
Yeah, you were saying how big that 4th run was. Well, the 5th run would be super big as well. Normally you'd say, yeah, you take the double play and get on with it with Wilcox scoring, but really can't afford to have him come home.
He is ahead to McCausland. A strikeout would be huge. Gurney ready, 0-2, and it hits him. It was ahead, no balls, 2 strikes, and went fastball and was trying to go fastball up and in, maybe brush him off the plate, and that went almost a direct path to
Now
McCausland.
batting,
Miners in
designated
a
hitter number
huge
35,
break, because like I
Brandon
said, he was ahead
Duran.
0-2.
Yeah, it might just be some fatigue setting in from Gurney, which would be understandable.
Talking with Monty yesterday, we were hearing that they just do a great job of mapping out how much pitchers have pitched and making sure that they feel good. And I think Monty's going to make his slow patented walk, and it's going to be time to take Chad Gurney out. But like I was saying, they do a good job of keeping track of how many pitches it takes for guys to get through however many innings, and based off of that and how their arm feels, they can equate how many days of rest that they need. And I will say Monty, the pitching staff, has just done a great job at knowing their limits, knowing when their arm is tired. The only arm fatigue we've seen is Brody Purcell and with the
And Eli Lipinski.
and Lipinski, yeah, but for a team that's got this many pitchers and using them this much, especially a guy like Rylan Hyder, Jeremiah Arnett, Andrew Rudd, you would suspect that so many guys would have arm fatigue, but that's not the case. Monty knows exactly when it's right to bring pitchers in and take pitchers out, and he's going to keep Chad Gurney in this game. Well, I'm just guessing Adam Inyard is not ready yet. I'm also surprised, though, that they didn't have him warming up beforehand in case that this might happen.
Yeah, for Gurney, probably on pretty thin ice at this point.
So the righty will remain, and he'll face Brandon Duran, who has already had some fireworks. 2 for 2 with a walk back in the first. That drove in a run, and then a single and a double, 3rd and 5th inning respectively. Infield is in. Plays going home. Fast Wilcox at 3rd, though. First pitch is hit high to left field. This is definitely going to drive in a run. Callahan is under it. He makes the grab. Going to key this one into 3rd. A really good throw, and that keeps Kerr at second base. But the Miners do pick up that 5th run and make it a 3-run lead.
Yep, fly ball and just a good approach at the plate, because that's all the Miners needed.
Now
Not
batting,
looking to
second
put up a
baseman
big
number
number
1.
as much as just add a
Go,
little bit of insurance.
Patrizi.
Smart play by Callahan to go to 3rd and limited to just 1 advance on the paths.
Now with the bases not loaded and a double play opportunity, maybe allowing Gurney to face down Patrizi because of that, but Patrizi is not a double play candidate.
Patrizi 0 for 3 so far, including a pop out of a bunt.
Looks like he's swinging away here. There's one out. Maybe he'll square. He does not, and that's a called strike from Gurney. Kerr at second, McCausland at first. Gurney trying to get himself out of another jam. 0-1 hit to Will Burns on a line, and he's got that one. Thought that might creep up into center field. Was hit weirdly off the bat of Patrizi.
Yeah, it was hit super weirdly. I guess both of our
Now
depth
stepping up,
perceptions were off,
left
because I
fielder
thought that
number
was
8,
destined for the
Rucker
outfield grass. And
Scow.
thankfully it wasn't.
And Kerr, probably having a better eye of that, was able to read that off the bat. So 2 are down. Gurney one pitch away from getting out of this, and Monty's going to stay put over there and let the young righty do his thing. He faces Riker Scow now. A double, a walk, and a strikeout are his line. Gurney going to look back the runner. Infield's still super shallow, but that ball hit by Duran looked like he really got a hold of it, and I'll tell you, Callahan was positioned pretty perfectly. Just
Yeah.
had to take a 5 or 6 steps back. That's it. This one misses from Gurney.
I thought Durant hit that ball
Yeah,
much better
yeah.
than he did.
But I'm telling you, Sanagorski, he knows a thing or two about baseball. Not too far out or too far removed from being a baseball player himself. But like I said, top step of every defensive inning and just telling everyone where to go. Low and away from Gurney. Struggling a little bit to Scow. Inyart's still getting warmed up over there. Another righty it would be for the Bucs. Started with the lefty Carlone. Just could not get out of the first. Ever since then, it's been Gurney, and he misses up and in.
And if he walks Scow, I'd be pretty confident that his day would be done. But we know Gurney's capable of making one good pitch and generating soft contact.
3-0. Right down the heart of the plate for strike one. The Miners' days off, the Bucs have picked up 2 more wins. The Miners were the first team to 20 wins, though, and then Bucs seemed like they had 3 or 4 more games with the Miners having some days off and storming back in front in the win department. 3-1, popped him up. Great job by Gurney. Tommy Eisenstadt, the first baseman, has that in his sights and wraps it up for out number 3. So the Miners do get 1 run, but the bases were loaded, nobody out, and Gurney finds his way out of a huge jam, just allowing 1 run. Now a 5-2 lead for the Miners as we head to the 8th. Welcome back. Top half of the 8th, and time running out for the Bucs here. We saw some late game heroics back against the Pilots, I believe, 2 days ago. That was the four runs scored in the 8th inning. If I'm not mistaken, but we know these games just add up so quickly. First pitch is a called strike, and
I believe it was the 6th inning, but basically the 8th inning because it was a doubleheader.
You're exactly right. So yes, late in that game, Bucs are able to storm back. Callahan squares, pulls it back. They're going to check down to third and say he did not go.
A little bit surprised by that, and for Callahan, already has a 2-run homer, but Bucs still need a little bit more. Would love to see him get on as the leadoff guy.
Big cut and a miss at that one from Hattenbach. Still on the mound for the Miners.
Next pitch will be his 50th. 19 balls, 30 strikes for the tall lefty.
1-2, called strike 3. Callahan knew it. And another strikeout for Hattenbach, who just looks super sharp.
5 strikeouts now for the 6-7 lefty.
3 straight.
Batting number 29, Tommy
Looks like he's gotten more and more comfortable.
That's what the Miners pitching staff does to you. Sometimes you can get some runs off them, and then they just settle in. So the same thing happened to Hostetler. And yeah, that game, the second game of the doubleheader, the Bucs were down 2-1 and running out of outs, scored 5 runs, and Eisenstadt hits this one into left field, could get down, and it is right in between the left fielder Scow and Drake Kerr in center field, and Tommy Eisenstadt dumps a 1-out single.
Good to just get a guy on. That's how you got to start this thing. And we know with this Bucs offense, sometimes when one guy gets on, the guys after him just keep things going, and Brody Briggs usually a part of that.
Yeah, it can be contagious, and Briggs usually falls in line with it. So we've seen the Bucs storm back and come from behind before, not too long ago. Can they do it against the Miners? This one had a little extra heat on it. Briggs able to pull that bat back as he was squaring.
And if he's squaring, he's got to be thinking he can beat it out because you don't have enough outs to work with that you should be moving someone into scoring position at the cost of one. Just 5 left.
Looks like Hadenbach trying to rush Brody Briggs, who's asking the umpire to give him some time. And he does. This misses upstairs. Not a big lead at all for Eisenstadt.
Definitely not someone you'd expect the Bucs to steal a base, especially with such limited outs remaining. Yes, it takes away the force, but the risk probably greater than the reward.
Briggs squares again, pulls it back again. That one is low and in. 3 balls, no strikes from Hadenbach. Think he's focusing a little bit too much on avoiding the ball or avoiding the bat of Brody Briggs trying to lay down a butt.
And if I'm Briggs here, I'm definitely squaring and pulling it back just to try to get into his head. You're probably going to have the red light 3-0 anyways.
Keeps it on his shoulders, and that one is upstairs. Didn't matter anyways. 4-pitch walk to Brody Briggs.
Brings a tying run to the plate. And in ABL play, probably not as big of a deal because home runs are so few and far between, but still good to show that you are in this game. And even though 3 runs might seem like a decent amount, at this point, it's just one swing.
It's going to prompt a mound visit for the Miners. Steve Hecker will come out and talk to his pitcher. And for Peyton Knowles, definitely not a guy you would expect to hit it in the gap or hit it over the wall for sure. He's just a guy that manufactures getting himself on base, first base especially.
Said the same thing about Callahan, though, and then a triple the other day and a home run today. Knowles, like Callahan was, no extra base hits so far this season, but, I mean, these guys are college players at high-level programs. We know they're capable.
And I'll go ahead and keep willing it into existence. I talked to Peyton Knowles, and he kind of did a double take after I told him, hey, you got no extra base hits, and you don't really have that approach, it seems, when you go to the plate. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I don't really realize I just don't have that approach, but maybe I'll let one go. And here with one down, if he gets into a favorable 2-1, 3-1 count, why not? Just one swing, let it go.
At the same time, though, if you're the Bucs, would love to see Knowles just keep this line moving. You got Burns, Hunsaker, and then back to the top. We know Knowles is going to have a patient approach.
First pitch called strike. Knowles, don't know what to expect out of him at bat to at bat. Can take long ones and hit it first pitch. Hits it on the ground. Going to be a tough play. That one gets through. Coming around is Tommy Eisenstadt. Here comes the throw from right field. He's going to be safe. The ball gets away. It's out of the glove of Bolts. Heading into third is Brody Briggs. Peyton Knowles going to advance to second. And what a huge base hit for Peyton Knowles.
A lot to unpack there. So firstly, great job by Brody Briggs because he kind of ran in front of Chase Wilcox, made it very difficult for Wilcox to see where the ball was. Great job by Briggs to shield him and then get out of the way of the ball. And then Eisenstadt chose to run to home plate instead of sliding into home plate. It does increase your time to get there. It makes you faster getting there. Obviously, you don't have the precision of which part of the plate you get to. And in doing so, he kicked the ball. No intent, but that's just what happened. He kicked the ball out of Bolts' glove, and that enables Briggs to go to third, Knowles to go to second. Not only do you have the tying run in scoring position now, but there's no force.
And Will, I'm glad you said that because I was so geared up to say, hey, Tommy, I love you, buddy, but you got to slide on that play. But I think you're right that it was honestly, maybe it wasn't even the decision. Maybe you just totally forgot to, but it ended up really working out for this Bucs team. So, hey, Tommy, don't listen to what I was going to say. Do your thing out there. So that's going to be it for Hadenbach. He comes out of this game and quickly onto the mound now. It looks like it's, man, I'm already going to just try to give you this name, but onto the mound quickly is Ryan Harehill. The Bucs have seen him plenty of times. We'll let him go ahead and get warmed up. The score is 5-3, but hey, the Bucs are knocking at the door. We'll take a little break and come back and bring you the new pitcher. Welcome back. Top of the 8th inning. The Bucs still down, but they're just down by 2 runs after they get that run scored by Tommy Isis out on a wacky play. Into the game is Ryan Harehill. 9 appearances so far. This will be his 10th. Started 2 games, but mostly comes out of the bullpen. 3-1, 18 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 8 earned runs, good for a 3.86 ERA.
Pitched against the
Now
Bucs
batting number 9,
last Sunday.
Will Burns.
Went 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. 5th time against the Bucs. First time did not go so well. 3 earned runs. Since then, he's been pretty lights out. But it's crazy how much the Bucs have seen this guy.
So they know him pretty well. And Will Burns at the dish with a runner at second and third and just 1 out. Foul tips at that one. And Will, the stage is set, and this is the man you want to have up at the plate because even with his struggles, you can see him starting to come out of that funk a little bit. Does have a strikeout and a flyout today. Did have a couple of strikeouts in the last game. So Will, I don't want to safely say he's out of this funk yet, but I will tell you, if he gets a big hit right here, if he can tie this ball game up, consider yourself out of a slump.
100%.
Like I said, stage is set. Knowles at second, Briggs at third. Harehill 0-1 count. Burns awaiting the pitch. Here it is. Check swing, they'll appeal. He did go.
That hurts. Big call over there by the first base umpire. Seemed close, not arguing the call, just saying how big of a call it is because now you're down in an 0-2 hole.
Will Burns has got to fight here. Down 2 strikes. Harehill set the pitch in the dirt. A great stop by Balls. The ball gets away, but Briggs is going to stay at third. I think the wise decision.
Yeah.
And
It was close, though.
yeah, I think if Knowles or Hankins is over there with a little bit more speed, if they read that ball initially, they can probably score, but still, it's going to be a bang-bang play, especially with Briggs over there, and especially because he probably didn't see that initially. So, good decision, good take by Will Burns, stays alive.
And Briggs a catcher. I trust him reading those balls just as much, if not more, than anybody else.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Harehill ready again. Pitch to Burns. Popped up into right field. It's going to be deep. Kyle McCausland is under. He makes the grab. Briggs is going to tag. The ball is going to head to third base. The Bucs once again bring it within 1 run. It is a 5-4 ball game thanks to Will Burns.
Yep, huge sac fly. Now just a 1-run game, and we've seen some pitches in the dirt. Knowles now just 90 feet away. He could definitely scamper home on another one of those.
So 2 runs come
Now
across.
batting number
Eisenstadt
1,
first, and then just Brody
Riley
Briggs.
Hunsaker.
And Hunsaker, boy, would it be great to get him going because coming back from that hamstring injury, has had a couple of base hits sprinkled in, but really hasn't broken out. It's been tough coming back from that injury, being out 2 weeks. It's got to be tough for Hunsaker, but would love to tie this ball game up. 2 outs, though, as that one is upstairs. Bucs dugout getting a little bit more rowdy. Still's Adam Inyard in the bullpen. Probably going to come out for the Bucs next inning. Next one to Hunsaker, misses low and away. And like you said, Harehill's got to be careful. Anything in the dirt, Peyton Knowles has got a great eye, and if he gets a good jump, he's going to probably score.
And he's never shy to try to take the extra base, even if it's home.
Be interested to see how Sanagorski thinks Peyton Knowles should be. Don't want to be too aggressive. 2-0. In the dirt, that one gets away. Coming home is Peyton Knowles. He's going to score. We got a tie ball game. 5-5. Peyton Knowles with a great read, but didn't even have to.
And how big is Peyton Knowles getting to third on the sac fly? If he doesn't do that, he's not scoring there. Not only that, but Hunsaker getting out of the way of that one. It honestly
Huge.
could have hit him, but if it did, obviously it's a dead ball. Knowles can't come home. Hunsaker gets out of the way, and no chance behind the plate for Blake Baltz.
Will, that's a great point. You're exactly right, and I was really worried that it did hit Riley Hunsaker, but fortunately for the Bucs, it didn't. 3-0 count. Harehill fires a strike in there, and just a great at-bat by Hunsaker. Noticing after the first couple of pitches, Harehill didn't really have that same command and keep the bat on his shoulders for ball 3. He hits this well into the left center field gap. That one's going to get down, right center field gap. And it splits the 2. Drake Kerr just getting to it, but Riley Hunsaker has a double. And he does the Tim Tebow at second base. We know you love that, Will.
Not going to comment on that, but I will comment on his hitting. Great job finding the gap. The Bucks have already tied this up, but Riley Hunsaker not satisfied. His wheels are
Now
just
batting number 6.
180 feet away
Josh
in scoring
Hankins.
position, and we know what Josh Hankins is capable of. The Bucks might not be satisfied in this eighth inning with tying things up.
And Will, just with how much of a struggle it was just to getting to this eighth inning and finally putting up a run, you didn't want to be too greedy after Knowles comes around to score, but hey, you just had a 2-out double by Hunsaker. He's in scoring position, and you got the top of the order. Why not be greedy?
And Mr. Cheeseburger, Josh Hankins, is due. He's 0 for 4. We don't see him go 0 for very often, especially over the last couple of weeks. This is the at-bat where the Cheeseburger comes into play, fuels him up. It's settled now a couple hours later. He's going to bring in Hunsaker. You just watch.
Hopefully you can will it into existence, Will. Hankins at the dish, 2 down. Hunsaker bouncing around at second base. First pitch called strike. Nice breaking ball in the outer half. Enyart has had plenty of time to warm up in the bullpen, has actually sat down now. Talk about even more pressure for Enyart coming out. Sun's starting to poke out a little bit. 0-1 to Hankins, misses just a bit outside. That's been the call all day, and that's what the home plate umpire is trying to tell everyone. All the fans moaning and groaning. The outside pitch has not been called much, and same thing happened yesterday versus the Chinooks. 1-1 misses up and away, or up and in, excuse me, and that home plate umpire for yesterday's game is at third base today. Interestingly enough, usually the same 4 or 5, or I would say same 5 or 6 umpires that we see. Hankins ahead in the count, 2-1. See if he can turn on a baseball. Pitch from Hill. Called strike, and that looked like the same spot on the outside pitch he called a ball.
Yeah, and even if that's going to be a strike, don't mind Hankins keeping the bat on his shoulder there. You're not going to do much with that. A perfect pitch from Ryan Hill, and tough call.
Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The Bucks trying to get the lead. Pitch from Hill. A chopper out to second. Patrizzi fields. The sidearm throw is in time, but the Bucks tie it up. They bring 3 runs in to come around to score. The lead is no longer for the Miners. 5-5. We've got a tie ball game heading into the bottom of the 8th. Don't go anywhere.
And
Welcome back. A tie ball game. The Bucs score 3 runs in the top half of this inning,
Leading us
and the
off, your
Miners
shortstop,
looking
number
to
19,
answer back, but they've got to face
Ryan
a tough arm
Cochran.
in Adam Inyart coming out of the bullpen. For Inyart, this is his 10th appearance in his 9 beforehand. 1-0, 2 saves, 12 and 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, and he's been super sharp as of late. First pitch is a bit outside to the leadoff batter this inning, Ryan Cochran.
Enyart 2 innings on Friday against the Pilots, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout. As that's fouled back our way for Enyart. He pitched against the Miners here in that 10-9 win, 2 earned runs in an inning and 2/3. Like you said, those are the only two earned runs all season. Since then, 4 innings against the Miners across 2 games, and obviously no earned runs.
Looking for the same here. 1-1 is just a bit upstairs, and this is about usually the point in the game where we'll see Inyart. I mentioned that he has those 3 saves, or excuse me, 2 saves for Inyart. So we have seen him come in the 9th inning and slam the door shut. We've also seen him come in 7th and 8th inning, but usually a later inning reliever for this Bucs team. He gets the called strike, evens the count at 2-2.
How about Chad Gurney, though, giving the Bucs 6 2/3 innings,
Oh my goodness,
over 80 pitches.
I cannot go without saying how good Chad Gurney did and just how much of a help he is.
And now, they're not in line for the win, I guess, with the Bucs tying things up, but he would deserve it if it was possible. And you're trying to set himself up to earn that.
And Carlone just pitched 24 pitches, so he could be good to go in a couple of days. 2-2.
Didn't even think about that.
Missed outside, so, the Bucs face the Miners again in just a couple of days, so ideally Carlone could be ready to go, but some other guys that are waiting their turn, so maybe that 3rd game against them. And Adam Inyart, after getting ahead, falls behind and gives up a leadoff walk to Cochran, and not what the Bucs want with the game tie.
Absolutely not. Kind of the last way you'd want to start this inning is with a leadoff walk, make the Miners earn it. Now you have that leadoff guy on in Ryan Cochran, with the Miners looking to take the lead.
If Inyart slows things down just a tad. There's another arm in the bullpen. Sorry to cut you off, and believe it or not, that's Jeremiah Arnett out there. Wow.
Saw him start just a few days ago for Cochran over there at first. 3 for 3 in stolen base attempts this season.
And squaring was Cochran. He pulls it back, but that one gets away from Briggs. I thought it nicked something, maybe the bat, but I guess it didn't.
Yeah, I heard that noise as well. Must have been Briggs's equipment. And unfortunate, now you've got Cochran in at second base without the Miners even having to sacrifice an out. And that's a huge runner representing the go-ahead run with no outs over at second. The bunt could still be in play to get him over to third, where with just 1 out, he'd be a candidate to come home on a sac fly.
Now Monty making a mound visit. A slow walk out there. Arnett has started warming up, but I don't think he would be ready to go right now. Maybe just buying time and allowing Inyart to face this last batter before he'd be taking him out. And going back to Arnett, he pitched in the first game of that doubleheader. 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, no walks, and looked really sharp. And
47 pitches, so not the highest number.
And they'll go with Inyart for now. I think Monty giving a long look to see where, or no, just an exchange with the third base coach, but also probably looking out there to see Arnett's progress. So 47 pitches just 2 days ago. Must be feeling pretty good if he can come out of the game now. Wouldn't have to go, obviously, that many innings if we're in the bottom of the 8th. 1 ball, no strikes in this at-bat. Hankins and Eisenstadt on the grass expecting a bunt. He does square, and he hits it foul.
And I'd expect him to do it again.
Sun really starting to come out now. It's been cloudy all day. One ball, 1 strike for Inyart. And he squares again. Briggs going to fire this back to second, and in there safely is Cochran.
Not a bad idea from Briggs. And Burns and Knowles over there always ready for it, knowing how much Briggs likes to do that.
The last one was outside, so 2-1 count to Blake Baltz. Squares again, and that's going to be a strike. That has to be. Oh, my goodness. He looked like he was fully all the way around.
He jumped out of the way, but he never pulled his bat back.
I'm shocked that no one is going to talk to him. Bill Springman is having some words for the third base umpire. He was right there. Yeah, Bill Springman is making the bunting motion and saying that he kept that out there the whole time. That is a ridiculous call. Well, first of all, it's ridiculous that the home plate umpire didn't call it originally.
He jumped out of the way, but he did not pull his bat back. Just got another look at it on the screen.
So a 3-1 count. Squaring again, he gets it down. Enyard bobbles it, has one play, and gets it at first.
Great job by Enyard to regather himself. I think got a little bit excited. Maybe ideas of third base. Don't think he would have gotten Cochran over there. And in the end, had to play it perfectly after the little mishap, and he did.
I'm not sure if Baltz would have squared if there was a 2-strike count, but that is going to give Montez enough to make the decision to take Enyard out of the game. He points to, looks like Jeremiah Arnett, who's warming up in the bullpen. So once again, we will step aside and let the new Bucs pitcher get ready. A runner at third base and just one down. A tie ball game, 5-5, but the Miners knocking at the doorstep. Don't go anywhere. Big game here. Welcome back to Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska. Looks like the bullpen has rejoined the dugout. Help out the vibes and get the energy up a little bit. On the mound, like I said, Jeremiah Arnett coming into this game. Arnett, 15 appearances. This is his 16th appearance. Just started one game, and that was a doubleheader 2 days ago. 5-0 with a save, 27 innings pitched, 28 hits, 8 earned runs, good for a 2.67 ERA. Like I said, doubleheader 2 days ago, pitched in the first game, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 4 Ks.
He's faced the Miners twice, 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs in those two combined.
First batter he sees is not Nick Bisacci. They're actually pinch hitting, and it is going to be Christian Perez who gets an at bat. Swing and a miss.
And for Arnett, this isn't a situation he's not used to. Yes, there's a runner on third with one out in a tie game, but came in on July 4th after Enyart with runners on the corners, nobody out, 2-run Bucs lead. Neither runner came home to score.
And everyone in the Bucs dugout, top step, they are all cheering for Arnett here. Who wouldn't be? That one's low and into Perez, and not sure 100% if Bill Springman, manager for the Bucs, has gotten tossed. He did leave the dugout and was talking with the bullpen, but I don't know if I don't see him returning, so maybe he did get tossed. 2-1 misses inside, and he did have words with the third base umpire during the pitching change and when Arnett was warming up, and didn't see the umpire throw him out of the game visibly, but
No.
could have been a simple exchange. 3 balls, 1 strike. Arnett's got a battle. Pitch misses inside. He walks him.
And that walk's not the end of the world. No, it's not the ninth inning where you could say, oh, well, the only run that matters is that third. Perez's run would matter too if the Miners are able to get a 2-run lead, but at the same time, you bring the double play into possibility here if Burns and Knowles can combine up the middle. Wilcox, the lefty, would be a tough guy to get, but
They're going to put him on first, and
Yep.
they're going to bring Drake Kerr up. This is interesting because Kerr's also got that speed. And this is a move made by, it looks like, Sanagorski. Like I said, Bill Springman is not with the team anymore. Like I said, I don't want to say if he's been ejected or not, but he is not with the dugout. So Sanagorski calling the shots. Montez, I believe, just calling the pitching shots. But both probably agreeing to load the bases up. Will, what do you think the reason behind that is?
I mean, I understand that you can go anywhere now, including home plate, so maybe not as worried about the double play as much as just being able to come home on the force. But Kerr coming into play today, hitting 289. He has a bunt single, so definitely not a shabby hitter that you can just take advantage of.
Outfield, like it's been all day, super shallow. Sun really sticking out, and Kerr smashes this to left field. That is over the head, and it's going to one hop off the wall. 1 run scores. Christian Perez will score. And it is a 2 RBI double for Drake Kerr, and the Miners take a 7-5 lead.
Yeah, and this crowd has come alive with that here at Herman Brothers Field, and understandably so. And that's kind of what we talked about. Yes, you're putting the force on, but it's not the ninth inning where only 1 run matters. And with the unintentional walk, there's that second run, and with the intentional walk, there's another runner just 90 feet away. And if that's your approach, then I'm almost a little bit surprised that you're not doing it again here. Just second and third with 1 out. If that's how you felt, you shouldn't be discouraged by just 1 at bat not going your way, but
They're
it
gonna
looks like
pitch
they're
to him.
going to pitch to him. Yep.
And Sanagorski calling for the infield end, so ground ball. They'll check home first and see what Wilcox is up to before firing it to first base. McCausland at the dish. So far has a base hit and has reached 3 times. A hit by pitch and an error. Flown out once, and this game now 7-5 lead for the Miners, and the Bucs have to at least get 2 in the top half of the ninth. McCausland pokes this out to shallow right field. Knowles has it, and he'll fire it back into the infield, and luckily that was too shallow for Wilcox to have a chance.
Yeah, a little bit surprised we didn't see Wilcox try to tag, only because it was such an awkward angle for Peyton Knowles. At the same time, though, if that ball drops and Andrew Lamb's coming in, he would have had a good angle to make the throw. And if Wilcox was just at the bag at third base, wouldn't have been able to come home. So maybe thinking he had a better chance if that ball got down, and they're going to intentionally walk Brandon Durand.
I think that's the right choice. Durand has been seeing the ball really well. Double, single, a walk, and a sac fly that was hit pretty well. So he gets awarded first base. That'll bring up Don Patrizzi, who's been quiet today, but it is a fast runner. They do have 2 outs. They really can go anywhere. Not what we used to sing out of Arnett. Look, always looks very sharp, and just 1 bad pitch to Drake Kerr. That's what does it. Patrizzi takes a called strike, and no matter how far back Callahan is, regular distance or even way further back, that ball was smashed, and I don't think anyone's really getting to it. And Kerr very speedy. Honestly, didn't expect that power from him. I think the Bucs were a little bit surprised too. That one's fouled away by Patrizi, and Arnett's one out or one pitch away.
Yeah, I mean, it does not matter where Ryan Callahan's positioned on that one. He barreled it up and smashed it deep to left field.
Arnett trying to get out of this eighth inning. Pitch misses upstairs. For the Bucs, they'll have one last shot. Like I said, have to score at least 2 runs, but they'll have the right guys to do it. Looks like it's 2, 3, and 4 due up.
Yep.
1 ball, 2 strikes for Arnett. The pitch, the outside part of the plate, and it's ball 2. Arnett thought that was strike 3, and the different zone it might be, but the outside part of the plate has not been called all day. So deuce is wild, and a 7-5 lead for the Miners as Arnett will step off. Two pitch. Off the fist, fouled away, and well, if you're the Bats, you're saying, well, we gave you 5 runs off a really good pitching staff, and seems like the pitching just doesn't hold up. But you also can't really blame the pitching because they've been so spectacular all season.
There have been so many games where it was the other way around.
Exactly.
Not so many because the Bucs are obviously only 10 losses, but a good number of games.
2-2 misses outside again. Arnett really wanting that pitch, but he's going to have to figure out that the outside part of the plate has just not been called, and there is nowhere to put Patrizi in. 2 runs is already pretty tough to come back from, but a 3-run lead heading into the 9th with the best closer by far in this league in Kanan. It's going to be really tough.
Yep, you've already walked in 3 runs today. Really don't want to do it again.
Arnett going to step off. No one was at second base.
Home crowd here doesn't like it very much.
Wanting a balk call, but you do not have to throw the ball when you go up like that. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Arnett needs a strike here. The pitch popped him up. Center field, Hunsaker drifts back. And that one is finally going to come down and be out number 3. But the Miners get 2 runs on a big 2 RBI double out of Drake Kerr. So we head to the top of the 9th inning. Last hope for the Bucs Bats. Have got to score at least 2. 7-5 Miners lead when we come back. Welcome back. Top half of the 9th. Unfortunately, the Miners 2-run double by Drake Kerr, and that leaves Drew Conan to come in and close, and he has been fantastic. 7 saves is by far the most in ABL play. 13 appearances, but just the 14 innings pitched, 4 hits, and no earned runs.
And those 4 hits is almost as impressive as the no earned runs. 3 1/3 innings against the Bucs across 3 appearances, just 1 hit.
He'll face 2, 3, and 4 and fires a strike into Andrew Lamb, and the Bucs have got to be aggressive against Conan. He's going to fill up the zone, and you just cannot be super disciplined. He's already into his windup. And they gotta have to wait for Lamb to get ready. I mean, he is just stepping into the batter's box before, and Conan's already into his windup.
They called it a ball.
So it is a ball. 1-1. That misses. And for Lamb, it always takes that step out of the batter's box and dries his hands with the dirt a little bit. So maybe taking extra time now, and that's exactly what he's doing, I bet. Trying to slow down Conan. 2-1. Fouled out of play.
The second that Conan got the go-ahead from the home plate umpire, he was going, and now Andrew Lamb having a little chat with the home plate umpire.
Maybe the home plate umpire's making him hurry up a little bit because Conan's already ready. It's got to be a really uncomfortable at bat for Andrew Lamb. Already has 2 strikes on him. Conan now taking his time on the hill. 2-2. Hit up the middle, and it's going to be fielded by the shortstop Cochran, and that is not going to be in time. Andrew Lamb aboard. See how that is scored. And
I would think an infield single.
I cannot. That looked like it was rocketed up the middle. I thought it was a base hit immediately, but I think it was actually off the fist of Lamb, and it gave Cochran some time to go and field it.
Hit that right back where it came from, kind of telling Kanan, I didn't like very much the way you were pitching to me, and this one's coming close to you.
It's probably exactly what that baseball was saying, and it is going to go down as a hit for Andrew Lamb.
Would love to see a good at-bat here from Carlone. Struggled on the mound, a great chance to have an impact.
First pitch he sees is outside. Lamb stays put. You can see Lamb bowing his head like, man, I should have gone to second, but I don't know how you would have made it. That ball didn't even get away from Maltz, but that just shows you that guys like Lamb really trying to take advantage on the base paths.
And obviously Lamb's run, not the most important with the 2-run deficit, but would break up a double play if he gets to second.
1-0 cold strike to Carlone. Carlone, we mentioned you. It's been a while, but he was the starting pitcher for this game. Just struggled, could not get out of the first inning. Giving up those 3 runs, Chad Gurney able to get the ground ball double play, and Carlone only got 1 out. And since then, at the dish, he's walked in the 3rd inning. That was after that first, but been pretty quiet. So chance to make some noise. That is off the glove of Baltz. Lamb takes second. They're telling him to go to 3rd, but I don't think he realized, and I think it's the right decision because that ball did not get super far away from Baltz, but for a second I thought he might have 3rd.
Well, the reason he was going to go was not because of how far it was from Baltz, but the fact that Baltz couldn't find it. And for Conan, he was taking so much time before coming home, trying to throw off Carlone. He threw off himself more than anybody else, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Baltz is going out there to talk to him about. Say, hey, stop trying to mess with these hitters' timing. You're messing with yourself out there, but huge that Lamb not as much gets into scoring position, but gets out of first base, takes away the chance at a double play. No force anywhere but first now, with the Bucs needing 2 runs, and luckily no outs still.
And Carlone is speedy, but he has a knack to hit the ball on the ground, and would not be surprised to see the Miners infield roll too. So good to see Lamb taking that extra base.
Ruled a pass ball, and it is one that Baltz probably should have, but it still was pretty high.
Lamb dancing around at second, trying to cause some havoc for Kanan, and Carlone fouls that down the left field line. Just late on it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. On deck, Ryan Callahan. A 2-run shot, but does he have another good at-bat left in him?
Great part of the order is looming. Callahan, Eisenstadt, Briggs, all guys you'd love to have up in this situation, as is Carlone.
Oh my, and they're going to call time, and Monty is going to have a word with Cole Carlone, and this is something we don't see a lot, but we have seen earlier in the year, also giving Arnett some time to go and toss some warm-up pitches just in case, but more importantly, just trying to throw off Conan, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't put it past Monty, that's for sure.
Maybe Monty's seeing something off about the pitcher Conan, and Bill Springman looks like he's been ejected. He is not with the team anymore.
Could be something that helps rally the guys.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Conan steps off, and Springman went down to the bullpen, and I think he told the players to go join the dugout, and everyone is on the top step.
Great to see.
Back with the 2-2 count. Carlone takes this one downstairs for ball 3.
And Lamb over there at second base, per usual, dancing around it. Conan's not comfortable right now. That's pretty clear. And Andrew Lamb, if anybody is going to take advantage of it, it's him.
So a 3-2 count for Carlone. Huge at bat here. In a huge position. Top 9, nobody out. The pitch, upstairs, ball 4. Carlone takes his base. The go-ahead run at the plate, the tying run at first base. The only issue is that there is a force out.
Left fielder, number 17.
Time for a chat for Drew Conan, because he's just clearly not himself. Bucks would love to take advantage, and how apropos would it be if Ryan Callahan comes up with a big hit here, has a single and a home run as well as a walk already. It's been a huge day, and to see him rewarded with a game-tying gapper or something of the sorts. You've got speedy guys on base with Lamb and Carlone. But knowing Callahan, that's not going to be his approach. He's just going to try to keep moving this line for the Bucks, and I can't blame him. You've got guys behind you in Eisenstadt and Briggs and Knowles who are more than capable, and so would love to see him be patient, knowing that Conan does not have his typical control.
And a long mound visit means a long opportunity for Montez and Sanagorski to talk strategy with Carlone, Lamb, and Callahan. Just can only guess what they're talking about right now. And for the Miners, sorry to cut you off, but it doesn't seem like they'd have anyone ready to go in the bullpen. Conan's their go-to save guy.
Guys are starting to stretch now, though.
But hey, that mound visit, not only just to calm Conan down, but probably to get those guys in the bullpen stretching and ready to go. So they're certainly not even close to ready. So it's Conan for at least these next couple of batters.
Yeah, Steve Hecker, the pitching coach for the Miners.
Lamb at second, Carlone at first. A single and a walk. Pass ball mixed in there too. Callahan squares, and that one is downstairs. And love this idea by Sanagorski and Montez.
Yeah, not only that, but just another thing that could throw off Conan.
Perez, who's in at first base now, is creeping up. Callahan gets it down. It's a good one. Baltz fields, throws, and they get him at first base. But Carlone and Lamb move over. The tying run is in scoring position. So sorry, we're a little bit late on that. Wilcox has moved over to third base. And that means Christian Perez is at first.
Now batting number 29, Tommy Eisenstadt.
Great job. Just doing your job right there. If you're Ryan Callahan.
So that'll bring up Tommy Eisenstadt. A single in his last at-bat, just last inning. Big part of the rally that got the Bucks back into this game, but need another one here as he takes a called strike. Eisenstadt actually got it started, a one-out single. He came around to score. Brody Briggs followed with a walk. Peyton Knowles with a single. 0-1. Another called strike from Conan, starting to really find that command.
Yeah, he's definitely settled in a little bit, but we've seen it from some Bucks pitchers. That can fade quickly.
Miners, Bucks, both at the top step of their respective dugouts. 0-2. Misses outside. Good take from Eisenstadt. Outfield pretty shallow. Gets a piece of it, fouls it away. Barely. And a base hit would be difficult to score 2 runs, Will, but
it's possible.
It is possible, for sure. There's so much room in the outfield alone. Honestly, the odds are in your favor with how much room there is. But a sharp ground ball to the outfield will likely just score the 1 run.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the Bucks push the envelope, though.
1-2. Misses outside, and a great grab by Baltz. That's scoring the 6th run for the Bucks, no doubt.
I don't know how he got to that. Incredible run-saving play.
Conan really pitches hard, and I'm just, like you, surprised he was able to get that. Blake Baltz.
Pretty big hole up the middle. Patrizzi shifted way towards first.
2-2. Hit towards Cochran at short, and he's going to double up Carlone. That's going to be the end of the game.
heartbreaking way for these Bucs to go down. Worked so hard to come back and tie it. The Miners retaking the lead, and the Bucs looked like they had something brewing, but not to be. And just hate to see it for Cole Carlone as well.
Carlone obviously frustrated and rightfully so. That's a really tough play because you think that that line drive is an easy base hit. You might have a chance at coming around to score, but instead gets doubled up at second base. And an unfortunate loss for the Bucs. We'll go ahead and wrap this up for you right now. So the Miners take this one. They drop the lead to just 1.5 games, unfortunately, for the Bucs. But the Bucs have a couple or 3 more games versus the Chinooks and still 2 more versus the Miners. But the Bucs have got to beat these Miners. They actually have to do it, especially because the Miners are probably going to win out.
Yeah, you still have 2 more opportunities. This is a game that was definitely winnable. A lot of plays that went both ways that could have gone the other way, but you know how the Bucs are. They're one of the best teams in the league, and we'd like to think the best team in the league. The standings say as much, and this is a close game that I think they would have liked to have had, but at the same time, I think that playing close games before the playoffs definitely a valuable experience, and there's a lot the Bucs can take from this.
So the Bucs fall in this one 7-5, just come up a little bit short, and like I said, need to win a game against the Miners. And if they don't, they're just going to have to hope the Miners fall. But they have been so hot. 11 straight wins for the Miners. This 11th win, breaks the 6-game win streak for the Bucs. And we'll give you the final line score right now. 5 runs on 9 hits and 1 error from the Bucs. The Miners, 7 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Some clean baseball from the Miners defensively, and that really helped them out tonight. Once again, the final score 7-5. The Miners take down the Bucs tomorrow. The Bucs will travel again to Chugiak to face the Chinooks. A 6 p.m. AKT start to that game. So join us out there in Chugiak. Once again, the Miners take down the Bucs 7-5, a win streak of 11. For my partner Will Hopkins, I'm Vic Massey saying so long and good afternoon from Herman Brothers Field here in Palmer, Alaska.